To all the ghettos around the world. And yes, you know the struggle goes on. People trying to survive, hold on. But we know it's been so long. Pain without a limit, so wrong. When I'm out walking, sometimes I think about, does love still exist? Yeah, I have my doubts. On the street, I check out how brothers be living. Yo, let's just say, kid, it ain't no Thanksgiving. We got people shooting dope, ain't never heard of hope. We got others with the gat and the brothers with the fucking scope. As I enter the projects, enter rec rooms, some brothers might see the doom. I see my man Apollo, fat pockets of papes. He knows the neighborhood biddies with all the dopest shapes. There goes Rollo with the blowout fro. He's got a gap, ayo, brothers gots to go. No show is live with narrate, fuck Memorex. My man Rollo's got a gat at Apollo's chest. One slug blasted out, down boy died. Now show me some love, kid, it sounds like a fucking yes, you lie. Know the struggle goes on. People trying to survive, hold on. But we know it's been so long. Pain without a limit, so wrong. Sometimes I think how the world come to this, a place where every man and woman needs a therapist. Mass confusion, people living in delusion, justify all the bullshit through the Constitution. Meanwhile, the masses struggle to survive. I think we're too busy to hear our people's cries. Single mothers struggle to raise families. Genocide committed through famine and disease. I wonder if these things will ever cease to exist. I know it could if we cease and desist. Giving all the power to the industrialists, giving all our power to the damn commercialists that see us just as being sheep in this world, that want us to do what we're told like boys and girls. Oh God, I wanna live another day so I can help provide equality this day. The struggle goes on. People trying to survive, hold on. Though we know it's been so long. Pain without a limit, so wrong. Everybody round the globe, open up your earlobe, your third eye, and then decipher the code. Through knowledge, understanding, then bring love into the concept instead of bling bling. Truth instead of biased educational methods. Twisting, contorting God's message of love for every human being. Listen, motherfucker, don't you hear the screams? It's time to do much more than talk, debate, and spread hate. We need to think and at the same time investigate. Understand what our actions may create. Before continuing the cycle we procreate. We can clone humans, but at the same time we can't feed humans. The future of man is actually looming. It's really depressing, it's true, man. Yes, you know the struggle goes on. People trying to survive, hold on. Though we know it's been so long. Pain without a limit, so wrong. Yes, you know the struggle goes on. People trying to survive, hold on. Though we know it's been so long. Pain without a limit, so wrong. I know how to see a whack MC when he bustin', but I just back away real cool, no fussin'. I'd rather go kicking in the streets with the bums and use the knowledge to collect what? Some funds. Open a non-profit and build a damn school. And this is the story of how a great king rules. There's many that claim to know the local demographic, but don't have the nerve to tell you the truth. It's tragic, but I do, so sit back and let me spit this shit to you. You feel better when I spit this shit to you. Despite the system trying to clamp down on the people will learn how to stand up to evil. Not evil that's across the globe, that's too far, but evil that lies in their own backyard. And fighting, it's not an option, they can't win. The government It's not supposed to represent sin, but then again they do, and that's a problem. So let's go down and figure out how to solve them. It's not fun being a rapper that can't speak, but we do, yes, and plus we make fat beats. Yo, we smoke weed, break up trees. Listen, bringing fat beats, that is our mission. You wanted to see us, homeboy, shut up and listen. Thelonious and Big Bennett, brother, check the vision. Mentalities of different realities. Enter the Star Trek room when you hear the boom. I be the Walkman with the super bass. Automatic stop, yes, stereo cassette player. With the delayer, freaky lyrical sprayer. Extraterrestrial rhyme sayer. I be the poetical VIC slash master of the ceremony. Tenderoni, won't you come step with me? I'm on a historical journey. Kinda like Sigourney. Implore me to represent the attorney that represents my niggas, go figure. It's the card, they call me Uncle Bigger. Niggas love your blunts, down your liquors. I read the parallel to the fiction. You fixated on this brother's nature. Relaxed behavior, I might save your change. Flip it, rearrange. The whole concept, yo, is good for all your brain. Insane, psychotic, neurotic, black onyx, and hooked on phonics, just atomic. Bees like a bonnet, cut with the Asiatic, they all up on it. Rhyme static with the Bugatti type of skill. You wonder, is this nigga Vic really for real? Still, but only necessary in the berry. I'm milk like dairy, they quite contrary. That's scary, but I'm a dog in the prairie. I scurry to grab my bones and just worry. Lyrical flurry, go get your secretary with impeccable diction. My style might vary, so get a hold of your own shit real fast. Fucking with us, we take it right out your ass. Prairie dogs chill while the other dogs howl. So too many dogs get sent to the pound. Back on the hill, me and my peeps just lounge. Prairie dogs, we keep it on the down. Splatter, don't like gun splatter. We try to climb the ladder, wicked men get better. They make it like splatter, but it really don't matter. Cause you know we coming back to our sons and our daughters. Father, him the one who protects ya, and the mother, she will never neglect ya. Through divine nature, the people respect ya, and in this way I deliver my lecture. Children dying. What about the children crying? No.
What about the kids?
Don't forget the children.
Tell them about the children.
What about the children crying?
Yeah. Digging, scratching, working, struggling, hoping. Some is hustling, every man hustling. Stay alive, that's the game. It don't matter if another gets slain. Pain, recession, other cats want a war, we got the weapon. People want bombs, so they gon' get them. This is the rhythm, the politics ticking. It's sad how we living in this life. It's gonna be a time that we change. Shit is not finite, life is the same. Motherfuckers killing each other to make a claim. Stop that bullshit, you have no respect for each other. You know the truth, you come from your mother, your sister, your brother. So love one another. We make that change, the whole world will do the same. So listen,
only is one love.
What about the children?
No.
what about the kids?
Don't forget the children.
Alright.
Tell them about the children.
What about the children crying?
Alright, what's good, everybody? It is Tuesday, the 21st, July, 0838 Central European Time, and that would make it 0239 Eastern Standard Time in the Americas. What's good, everybody? Glad to be back. I had to run some tests. YouTube, they got some updates and everything, and it created some little communication issues between some of these third-party apps, that I used to set up my stream with. But yeah, it appears to be working fine, and it's only one way to do it, and that's live. You can only test the live, but I appreciate everybody for being patient this morning. Yeah, and listen, over here in Copenhagen, the weather was beautiful. The weather is beautiful this morning. It is summertime officially, so the kids are home. The kids are just doing their own thing and happy to be free from school. And and me, I'm just doing the daddy duty and the work duty, holding down things in my home. And I hope everybody else is doing the same in their homes, given the times, especially given these times. They're not easy times for anybody, because Trump is out to do Putin's bidding, basically. And, it is what it is. Listen, I had the stream set up earlier, and it was supposed to link and connect and actually charge that stream, but so I have to figure something out. I had a pre-made stream already ready to go, and for some reason it didn't trigger it. It triggered the default one. So the default one is good, but I have a few things to work out. So, that's why that happened. But in any case, look, there's a lot of news, and there's a lot of news, and there's a lot of news that we didn't get to yesterday. And some of it is with Trump. More stuff is coming out now about Trump and the arrest of the Tate brothers. I mean, we talked about this the other day with Michael and Kev Dog. Yeah, exactly. Where's Kev Dog? Kev Dog, where you at? Where you at, Kev Dog? Yo, dead man, you're not wanted until you put some stuff up on your page showing who you are, man. You can't be hiding like that, man. You get no clout over here hiding, buddy. Nah, you can't do that. You gotta come like a man, or come like a woman, come like an adult, come like you're a serious person and not a troll. Show yourself, Don't be scaredy cat, man. Do it. Step up to the game. Step up. Then you're gonna get some respect from me. Until then, nah. It ain't working like that. No American flags. People hiding, pretending like they Americans, throwing the flag out there. That shit ain't gonna work. Look, I'm definitely American citizen. You know what I'm saying? Born and raised in Washington, D.C., born in Freedman's Hospital. For those of you that need a qualifier for my age, it's Freedman's Hospital. Go research Freedman's Hospital. Then you will know what time period I'm born in. Although I look young, I'm in my 50s. You know what I'm saying? Blessed to be in my 50s and in good health, And, but both sides of my family go back to the colonial period. And I don't need to wear a flag to be not playing no bullshit about my country. Like, what is this? I don't need to get up. I don't need the costume. You see what I mean? It's in my blood. It is in my history. It is in my ancestors. It is in my forefathers. It is in my family. It is in my children. You see what I mean? So, I don't need to be running around saying, hey, look at me. Red, white, and blue. Ha, ha, ha. 250. No. It's not that easy. It's not that easy. You're going to have to do more than throw the flag up, okay? What the hell is this, You know how many people there are claiming they Crips and Bloods out here? Nah. Same thing with the flag. Just because you're rolling it doesn't mean you are. So let it, Hey, by the way, Ed, thank you for hopping up the other day, Ed, if you're listening. And that's what I'm saying. Ed came up here. He hopped up on the panel. I saw who Ed is. I got a chance to see who Ed is. And Ed got a little image, and he got his Budweiser up there in his hand like this. And I was like, okay, Ed, there you go. See, this is what it's about. It's not about whether you disagree all the time. It's not about how much you agree. It's also about this. Do you actually believe what you're saying? And when you put your face out there and put who you are out there, people are more likely to believe that at least you believe what you're saying. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, there you go, Ed. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? At least that. You know what I mean? So we can kind of know. Look, I've had some people hop up in this time I've been on YouTube. You know what I mean? And when I first started, everybody was showing their face. Don't get it twisted. The setup before was everyone showed their face. Now I just need to see you kind of in Discord. But That doesn't mean you can't show people shit on your own page. You know what I'm saying? But check this out. Have you ever seen Dead Man hop up on the panel? Can we at least hear the voice of Dead Man? Come on, take a risk. Come on, man. Take a risk. Don't try to be in the area where only things can go your way and you got to play it safe, man. Come on. Come on. What is this? You playing it safe? That's some sucker shit, especially right now for these times in the United States, man. These times are times for people to stand up, and you got to stand up in the face of tyranny in real life. That's what time of day it is. You have to stand up against tyranny in real life, you know? So none of this hiding shit, you know what I'm saying? None of this, pretending stuff. You're going to have to do more than have a little avatar with an American flag. It ain't going to work. It ain't going to work. I want to hear your voice at least. I want to see you do something else. But in any case, having said that, there's a lot of news. We started off, like you said, Kev Dog. I saw you, madam. Kev Dog was up here, and he had a dialogue. Also, it was Ed, too. Ed came in on a little bit on that dialogue also, right? It was Ed, Kev Dog, and it was Michael from Brooklyn, right? Michael Brooklyn Best, right, was up here. And we talked about, what the hell is going on with the Tate brothers? Like, is Trump going to pardon them? Is Trump going to get involved? I mean, how much involved is he? And are they going to send them out? Now, I want to check right now and find out, have they left? Have they officially left? Have they shown up in the UK yet? Or are they still sitting in a holding cell in the US? I'm very, very curious about that. Let me know if you heard anything about it. And Nick from Australia hopped up yesterday, but the day before it was Kev Dog, it was Ed, and it was Michael Best talking about this situation. So let me pull this up right now, and let's get going on that. I want to jump straight into that, and then we can get into some things about Trump trying to stop the election. Trump talking about election fraud all day long, and it turns out, you know what it turned out to be, right? It turns out that the intelligence community, at several different times, they have said that foreign interference, what our foreign enemies would try to do, right, in their disinformation campaign, is make the election system look like it was fraudulent, right? And lo and behold, guess who it is out there pushing that agenda? It's Trump. It's Trump. How is Trump pushing the same agenda as what the Pentagon warned foreign adversaries would do? How's that possible? You see what I'm saying? So it's going to get very interesting today. But look, let's get right into it. Adam Mockler has some good commentary on this, but there's more. So let's just get right into it here and see what's going on.
Landed in Florida today on a private.
He gets asked right off the top. Trump. Let me see. Here we go. Let me bring it back a little bit for people to see. Big up to Adam Mockler, by the way. Here we go. Let's go.
President Trump, Andrew and Tristan Tate landed in Florida today on a private jet after being released from custody in Romania. They are accused rapists, human traffickers, not thought of as good people.
All right, everybody, this is getting weirder and weirder, and it seems like the Trump family is more involved in the Andrew and Tristan Tate situation than any of us could have imagined. Less than a day after Andrew Tate and his brother Tristan Tate were arrested in Miami and are due to be extradited to the United Kingdom over rape charges, sex trafficking charges, and child pornography charges, less than one day after, we already have a lot of new clips and recordings and old dug-up tweets that connect the Trump family to Andrew Tate. But it's worse than that. The Trump family, Donald Trump, mainly Barron Trump, and it seems like some of the Trump sons, were surgically helping Andrew Tate evade any sort of responsibility. There is reporting that shows that the Trump family bailed out the Tate brothers, and they are now being charged with child pornography, rape, and sex trafficking. These are the types of people that the Trump family uses their power to help. On screen now is the video that went very viral yesterday. I already made an entire video about Andrew Tate, about the awful clothes that he has on. Somebody commented that any adult man who wears loafers with no socks should be arrested on site anyways. I thought that was a funny comment. In an otherwise dark story, if you appreciate these videos and you appreciate these updates, make sure you drop a like. Make sure you subscribe to the Adam Mockler feed. We're going to walk you through everything. Just for a quick reminder, Andrew and Tristan Tate are two manosphere influencers who have given advice to millions of young men to treat women in disgusting ways. And I guess it reflects in their own personal behavior, their crimes.
Oh, you know what? I want to say rest in peace to the two soldiers that that were killed, you know, in this conflict, this recent skirmish with the U.S. and Iran, and we're also going to get in that, obviously. So, yeah, but rest in peace. You know, I'm not for that. I think Trump doesn't think at all about the lives of our military. Period. 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 And I think people are hypocrites for going out there being so judgmental about Biden. Biden didn't do half of the shit. In fact, Biden didn't lose one soldier under Biden. Secondly, he didn't let Netanyahu get two. I mean, people criticize him for Gaza not being harder on Netanyahu, and I understand that. But look at what we got now. You know, it's even worse. So, you know,
their
let's
alleged
see.
child pornography, rape, and sex trafficking charges that they've admitted to on camera. They've admitted to these things on camera in the past, so it was only a matter of time. Yet the Trump family still defended them. Andrew Tate even said in 2024, about 2 years ago, after he was being investigated originally, that he's very close with the Trump family. I know them well, he says. I spoke to Barron. Even Donald Trump's personal lawyer, Alina Habba, said she was a big fan of Andrew Tate. Watch these clips right here.
And I'm very close to the Trump family. I know them well, and I spoke to Barron after the incident, and I look forward to, once I am free, being with Donald Trump in person and reminding him that he's a bulletproof badass.
Oh my God. I guess they do have a lot in common. These are the types of people that the Trump family uses their power and connections to help lift up and evade responsibility.
This is the attorney for President Trump, somebody who has been a fighter for the America First Party. Her name is Alina Habba, and she joins us live right now.
Hi.
Hello, Alina.
Hi.
Hello.
Nice to meet you. I'm a big fan.
Well, nice
Big
to meet
fan.
you.
Formal charges against Andrew Tate include rape, human trafficking
of minors, sexual intercourse with a minor.
And Alina Habba said she was a big fan of Andrew Tate. For some more context, Lev Parnas posted this thread that I thought was rather brilliant. It's a breakdown of how Andrew and Tristan Tate spent their days before getting arrested. Again, if you appreciate these videos, make sure you drop a like. Make sure you subscribe to the Adam Mockler feed. We live and we breathe on independent media, getting these stories out, breaking this news, fighting back against this right-wing lunacy that is infesting our algorithm. So again, subscribe below. This says,
Yes, you heard that right, madam. You heard that right. They are out there doing this shit. I mean, they're charged with assault charges, sexual assault charges, literally, and but they out there bragging about the shit.
Andrew and Tristan Tate spent the days before their arrest partying in Washington, D.C. as guests of a man named Paolo Zempoli, Donald Trump's U.S. Special Envoy for Global Partnerships and a longtime friend of Trump and Melania. Zempoli is the former modeling executive who says he brought Melania to the United States and introduced her to Donald Trump. His name has also surfaced repeatedly in reporting surrounding Jeffrey Epstein's modeling.
So they're partying just the day before they get detained. They're partying with these folks. I mean, look, I just think that is very strange because look, if you wanted to distance yourself, obviously there's plenty of ways to do it. They wouldn't be hanging around your family or hanging at any special parties, any of that shit. You would be totally distanced, right? You would think that would happen here, right? But that's not what's happening. Yet he gets detained, but they didn't distance themselves at all. So what does that mean? What does that mean exactly? You know, you tell me. But in any case, let's go on.
World connections. And there's more. Zampoli previously acknowledged contacting a senior ICE official about Amanda Ungaro, the mother of his child, during a bitter custody dispute. She was later taken into immigration custody and deported, although Zampoli denies that he asked ICE to detain her. Now that we learn that the Tate brothers, facing rape and sex trafficking charges in Britain, were being welcomed and entertained in Washington by a Trump admin envoy shortly before they were arrested, this raises some very serious questions. Who invited them? Who did they meet with? And why were they being embraced by someone so close to Trump's inner circle? Not even just his inner circle. His own son is close with this guy.
And I'm very close to the Trump family. I know them well, and I spoke to Barron after the incident, and I look forward to, once I am free, being with Donald Trump in person and reminding him that he's a bulletproof bat.
The people that you use your power to protect, I feel like it says a lot about you. It reflects poorly on you when the Trump family is constantly helping out anybody in the Epstein files, helping out people like Matt Gaetz. Trump was going to make Matt Gaetz our attorney general. Remember, he tried to do that. Same thing with Andrew and Tristan Tate. They have reportedly directly helped Andrew and Tristan Tate. As a side note, this story is also going viral. Tulsi Gabbard's brother charged after allegedly trying to lure children to Waikiki hotel room. This is effing insane.
How is this possible? I mean, what is up with this? What is up with this? I mean, this is not a coincidence, is it? It seems like all these people are part of some weirdo shit. Like, seriously, you literally are picking people to lead up agencies that actually are weirdos. Straight up weirdos in the weirdest way, in the most Epsteinish type of way, in the is there espionage and blackmail? I mean, come on, is that really what's going on? I mean, people said that Tulsi Gabbard, that she's basically a Russian asset. That's what they said, and then Donald Trump appoints her to the head of intelligence, in terms of the presidential appointee, not the nuts and bolts, but still, right? So
R.T. Gabbard.
The U.S. is in a precarious situation. I know this got to have allies, very concerned about what information she left with. Remember, Tulsi Gabbard is the woman who just stepped down, and her reasoning was that, her husband has cancer, gotta go. I mean, I have all the empathy in the world for people that are sick or have illnesses or have cancer or have, life-threatening illnesses, right? But it doesn't change the fact that she was the head of intelligence and now she's gone. She was never trusted in the beginning. People said she was a Russian asset for the beginning. I'm talking about people that already served in government. Now she got her chance because she was appointed by who? Jeffrey Epstein's best friend. And now she's gone. I mean, just like bye-bye. What do you think that's about? What do you think that's about? Is that an escape hatch? Like, let me get out of here before this shit falls. Let me get all this information I got and just escape and get away and share it. Let me get out of the limelight. Let me get away from people, the office, so everyone's not watching me all the time. I mean, is that what it is? I mean, in any case, this is weird.
Was charged with second-degree custodial interference after the July 12th stranger danger incident at Waikiki Hotel Pool, according to police. Honolulu police allege that Gabbard...
the feed said, I'm sorry to say, but everyone in our government is some weirdos. Exactly. Facts. It is what it is. It's terrible. But true.
Tulsi Gabbard's brother, Batarti Gabbard, approached several children, including a 9-year-old boy, asked for their names, wrote them in a notebook, and offered them money and gum if they would accompany him to his hotel room. Lord have mercy. Let's go back to the...
How can that be? How can the head of U.S. intelligence, her brother, be out here looking for little kids like this? How is that possible? I mean, I'm sorry. That is screaming something bad about her. That is, like, you might not want to make that leap yourself, but I'm sorry. Too many of these people are involved with kids, molesting kids, sex trafficking kids, like associated or adjacent to people that have been doing that. Like, how is that a coincidence? How's that a coincidence?
Andrew and Tristan Tate situation because it's getting worse and worse. Here's a breakdown by Bedfordshire Police. I think this is a really good breakdown of all of the charges.
I'm Assistant Chief Constable Karina Thomas, lead for the Bedfordshire, Cambridgeshire and Hertfordshire Major Crime Unit. In 2024, the CPS authorised 21 charges against Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate following our investigation into allegations of sexual offences dating back to 2012. Following the initial charges being authorised, we have continued to investigate further offences reported to both Bedfordshire Police and Hertfordshire Constabulary. As a result, 38 new charges in total have now been authorised against Andrew and Tristan Tate, bringing the total number of charges faced to 59. The charges relate to 7 victims spanning a period from 2010 to 2017. Our officers have worked closely with the CPS and both national and international law enforcement agencies as part of this complex investigation. I can now confirm that officers from the United States have arrested both Andrew and Tristan Tate in relation to this matter, and they are being detained pending ongoing legal proceedings. We understand the interest that this case will generate.
You see that? So they're still in the U.S. They're still in the U.S. They have not left yet. They have not been extradited. So the U.K. has charges on them, but they haven't left the U.S. yet. They have ties, close ties to the Trump family, obviously to the youngest one and others, just all the sons apparently. And they haven't left yet. Now we had a good conversation here the other day with Ed, with Michael Best, with Kev Dog, and look where this shit is head. I mean, I don't know. This looks, if you ask me, it looks like he's not going to leave the U.S. It looks like Trump is going to find a way to keep them in the U.S. And this is what I was thinking, like, because the first thing that popped in my mind is the UK wants these guys because they want to know if they got any dirt, who else they have dirt on. That's got to be one of the things that's popping off in their mind. Because think about it. These guys have so many charges, they will never see the light of day unless they give some people up. And still, they might only barely see the light of day. So this looks like this is going to be another Trump scandal, international scandal. Now, let me see here. It says Andrew and Tristan Tate have not left the U.S. for the U.K. They were arrested in Miami, Florida, following an extradition request from British authorities concerning multiple sexual offenses and human trafficking charges, right? Current status: in U.S. federal custody. So the feds acted on that by detaining them. Is that what that is? The Tates were taken out of custody by federal authorities in Miami and are being held in federal detention, fighting extradition. During their initial court appearance in federal court, their defense attorneys confirmed that the brothers will fight the extradition order and remain in the U.S. It's not guaranteed they stay there, but they're fighting it because they want to stay in the U.S. Pending proceedings. Formal extradition proceedings in the U.S. District Court are currently underway to determine whether they meet the criteria to be extradited to the U.K. So, somebody in the United States is fighting for them to not go to the U.K. Can't Trump get anything done? Isn't he the main executor? Isn't there a unitary executive government? Sounds real fishy to me.
But we would urge the public not to speculate and to allow the legal process to be carried out correctly.
Nah, I'm going to speculate all day. I'm going to speculate. Listen, just right now, based on what you hear, put a 1 in the chat if you think these guys are going to hit the land called the UK. Put a 2 if you think they are never going to leave the United States of America. And think about this. They're actually British citizens, American and British citizens. So both countries have some sort of claim over them, possibly. Yeah, this is going to be real interesting. Put a 1 in the chat if you think Put a 1 in the chat if you think that they're going to be extradited. Put a 2 in the chat if you think it ain't never going to happen. They're going to remain in the United States of America. I'm curious. Hold on. Did I say that right? Did I say it right? Just let me know your thoughts in the chat. I'm sorry. Just let me know your thoughts. I don't think they're going to leave. I'm highly suspicious. I don't think they're going to leave. Whatever I said, 1 or 2, it doesn't matter anymore. I don't think they're going to leave. I think Trump is going to keep them here. And why? Why would he keep them here? So they can't give up any information on them. It's plain and obvious. It's plain and obvious. And yeah, but that's my theory. But in any case, let's hear some more.
Of course, all of the MAGA Andrew Tate supporters are already out trying to defend him, but it's interesting. I found a bunch of tweets that Andrew Tate had sent.
Yeah, the MAGA people going to be like, how do you know he did it? That's a leftist conspiracy. That's exactly what they're going to say. How do you know? They haven't been convicted of anything yet. That's Biden trying to do that to them. That's the deep state, y'all.
Kind of just connecting himself to the Trump admin. The Tates will be free, he said in 2025. The Tates will be free. Trump is the president. The good old days are back, and they will be better than ever. What are the good old days? What Tulsi Gabbard's brother and what the Tate brothers are doing? Is that the good old days in their mind? There's also the fact that Andrew and Tristan Tate did an interview with one of Donald Trump's cabinet members just days before they were arrested. Totally bizarre interview, says Karen Piper, where a serial rapist and child pornographer chats with Trump's special envoy about the wonders of Uzbekistan. And it's Andrew Tate, ex-Paolo Zampoli, the same person we were talking about in the Lev Parnas post. And they're just like chopping it up like they're friendly. Trump admin officials chopping it up with Andrew Tate. You might as well have Epstein himself there at this point if you're just going to be doing this. To continue, Andrew Tate just posted 2 minutes ago, the UK can try, but it can't actually stop me from tweeting. He's just a despicable douchebag who's always going to be trying to generate attention. But it's weird how close he is to the entire Trump administration.
Hi.
Hello, Alina.
Hi.
Hello.
Nice to meet you. I'm a big fan.
Well, nice to meet you. I'm a fan. You're the one saving Trump. You're doing more important work than me.
America, not just Trump. And I agree with everything you just said. And I think that your anger is the same that President Trump has for our country. And the time is now for us to stop being wimps. I think that's exactly the right sentiment. And I also have to say that I sympathize with you because I think you go through a lot of the same, show me the person, I'll find the crime that President Trump has gone through. And
wow, what an absolutely shitty lawyer, shitty prosecutor if she's going to be saying that Andrew Tate is just, being persecuted. And this is what these right-wingers do. They try to play into this narrative that they're being persecuted by the government, the matrix, the deep state. Well, it's Republicans in power. The entire Trump admin is in power. It's not the deep state anymore. See, Andrew Tate said Trump was not supposed to win the 2016 U.S. presidential election. He was not meant to be the president of the USA. Elon Musk was not supposed to champion free speech. Elon Musk was meant to bow down to the US deep state interests. And then he said, I was not supposed to go as viral as I did. He sends this long, borderline manic post where he's basically saying that the Matrix is trying to come down on him. Dude, you quite literally have...
That's what they all say. Wow, what a convenient message. I mean, maybe Democrats should start saying that. Maybe Mom Donnie should say that. The deep state is trying to get me, y'all. It's the deep state. It's the deep state. Stand up, y'all, against the deep state. They're trying to get me. Yo, you there, Mike? What's up, Mike? What is going on here, man? What is this?
Here, I'm here. This is Trump's America, right? This is what Trump's America looks like. Right. And I do think that, at the end of the day, a lot of this is, they could have covered this up if they wanted to, right? So I do think that either or
they're clumsy as hell, or it's just that clumsy of a mess. They don't know how to cover shit up. Maybe they just not good at it, bro.
True.
Maybe it's that bad.
No, look. I'm not even with this administration. I don't put it past anyone that is the truth, right?
Hey, look, did Don Jr. cover up those little white plastic bags at the UFC? Did he cover that up well?
Absolutely not.
I'm just saying, is it another case of oops? I don't know, man.
But I would like to believe that, they have all the intel that they need about the Tate brothers, even if it is sensitive. True. I do think that if it's something that's going to compromise, Trump and his family, they don't leave the U.S., right? They find a way to bring up charges on them for whatever cases, to keep them here. Otherwise, obviously, our relationship with Great Britain is going to deteriorate heavily if they don't enforce the extradition.
Right. Now, let me ask you this. There's a third thing. Before we were discussing, okay, are they going to leave the U.S.? Are they not going to leave the U.S.? Yeah. What would Trump do? If they stayed here, would they do a Epstein on them while they're in federal prison? Or would they, so the next question is this. We obviously, I was saying that if they go to the U.K., they're going to squeeze every bit of information out of them because they got so much jail time, they'll never see the light of day. So they're going to want to know, what do they know, right? Now, but here's the thing. Do you think that somehow, like, this is going to end up being an Epstein story? Like, they're going to hang them out to dry? Like, in the U.S.?
If they have anything, if they have anything substantial that could jeopardize Trump and affiliates, they
ain't going to let them free.
They wouldn't hesitate. They wouldn't hesitate. Yeah, they would not hesitate.
So even if they fight extradition, it's likely not going to mean they're getting getting out anytime soon.
Nope. Because we have to remember, that information doesn't dissipate, right? The minute Trump stops being Trump or stops being the president, any Department of Justice can go after them, right? Great Britain charges, they did, the expiration of these charges are going to be a lifetime, right? So it's only a matter of time before, again, whoever's the next president and whoever else is in charge of the DOJ, once Trump leaves office, that's it. Right? You know what I'm saying? So that's what they have to worry about.
Yeah.
Now is arbitrary, right? Because they could, hold them in the cell, whatever the case is. They could try to give them some sort of leniency, but we're not worried about America, right? Because the minute the next DOJ comes, they're going to extradite him. Right? That's something that we have to consider, right? Trump is not forever.
Trump is not forever. But his sons want to live.
And he knows that.
And his sons want to get away with dirt. Now, man, this is starting to look like an Epsteiner. To me now.
It's starting to look like something. To look a lot like something.
It's starting to look like something, man. And this should be a lesson to MAGA. Now, let me ask folks in the chat, is there a chance, is there anybody out there that thinks that these guys are going to see the light of day anytime soon? Do you think they'll ever see the light of day again? That is freedom to walk around. I would not even understand how. I don't think it's possible, but if you think they will see the light of day, I just mean not even be extradited, but walk on the streets in the United States of America, put a 3 in the chat. I'm just curious. I'm curious if there's anybody that thinks just seems to think that they will get out of this somehow and be free. But in any case, let's hear some more, bro. You want to say one more thing about this real quick?
Just that, even again, to the viewers, keep in mind that it doesn't end with the U.S., right? These extradition charges are not from we didn't charge them yet, if that's a thing, but it's the UK, right? And once this administration is done, whether they choose to extradite them or not, they can go free. But the next administration, that's it. That's it for them, right? That's it. They're going to, they'll extradite them. They'll have whatever information that they think they're covering up or whatever the case is. So, we'll see how it plays out. But I do think that even if they get away with it momentarily, long term, they're cooked.
They're cooked. Yeah.
Right? They still have the case of Romania, right? They still have the case of Romania.
Yeah.
Right? Which if under the next DOJ, they could send them to Romania, right? They could send them to Romania to play out those charges as well. So I just think it's under the right administration, for them in a matter of time before something does happen to them, right? And if not, if they have something personal or something really worthwhile, they won't leave a jail cell in America. So, but go ahead.
Right. I think you're right, bro. I don't think they're gonna leave. To me, it just doesn't seem like they're gonna be out of here. I don't see them letting them go for anybody. Look, Hungary, is it Hungary or Romania? It's Romania, right? They're a part of the EU, right?
Romania.
Yeah, they're a part of the EU, right? Now, the UK is not part of the EU, but the UK is in Europe, right? And Charles, I think it was Charles, right? Is he the Prince Charles that got caught up in this? Or Andrew? It's Andrew that got caught up in the Epstein scandal, right? Trump looked like he threw Andrew under the bus, just for his own convenience. You know what I mean? And I just don't see how Trump is going to let these guys go, man. Especially if he has any dirt on anybody in the Trump family or any of the other happenings, which is easy to find out because, look, if you've been hobnobbing with the Trumps and you've been free and kicking it and communicating with all kinds of people that are down with Trump, how much other dirt do you think they came across or heard about or, could help people with, So I just think I think it's over for them, man. I think they're going to be dead, bro. To be honest, I think they're going to be dead.
No, I don't doubt it. If they have enough,
yeah.
They won't see, they won't be around for too long. They won't be able to jeopardize for too long. Also, let's keep in mind that the Epstein files, they were hacked. So there's a copy, an unredacted copy floating around, if I'm not mistaken. I think they were linked to Russian hackers. So there's an unredacted
Folks
copy
got it
somewhere in this world.
Yeah, somebody else has that
it's
shit.
only a matter of time. Yeah, it's only a matter of time before even that comes out, right?
It's just the American people don't have it, and that's what's interesting. But other people have it. And why would anyone else that has it tell you? Like, what are the chances of someone in a country in the EU, their intelligence services having the Epstein files, like all of it, and just not saying anything? Because think about this. That information gives you power to protect yourself.
Yep.
If you have that dirt on Trump or anyone else, those people can't hurt you anymore. Those people can't do much to you anymore, right? So that would be a prime objective. And think about it. If it is hacked out there, then it's just a matter of money, right? But you wouldn't, obviously there's more than that, than money, because money's not going to guarantee you that you have the right information, right? But I just think I've had this feeling for a while that the only people that really don't have this information are the American people. We're the ones that are in the dark.
Russia has it, and that's why Trump's so compromised. That's my theory. Obviously we have no backing, but if I'm not mistaken, they were Russian hackers to begin with. So I do believe that they have the dirt on anything Epstein related, and so that's why Trump has been moving the way he has been moving with Putin in general. So
all right, let's hear some more. Yeah. All right, appreciate that, man. All right, let's hear some more here. Let me see what else Adam's talking about.
Abused, hurt, and trapped women. A lot of the allegations that initially came out said that he would lure women to Romania under the guise of falling in love with them. He would fall in love with them, he would buy them things, lure them there, then steal their passport and make them do camera sex work repeatedly and not let them leave, and then actually take about 70% of the cut, but he told them he was only taking 30% of the cut. I'm pretty sure that's just being a scammer, stealing, and very illegal. So he has this weird persecution complex, but it's weird because the Trump administration was the same admin that actually helped him get out of trouble in 2025. You're not being cooked by the Matrix, you're being helped by the deep state. The deep state is helping the Tate brothers, and the deep state is the Trump admin. Listen to this. Days before Donald J. Trump's return to the White House, Andrew Tate got some good news. Mr. Tate and his brother Tristan, swaggering influencers in the so-called manosphere, had been under criminal investigation in Romania since 2022, accused of coercing women into pornography. Andrew was also accused of rape and having sex with and beating a 15-year-old. The brothers, American and British citizens, had been barred from leaving Romania while prosecuted.
Beating a 15-year-old and graping also. Man, these guys are terrible. These guys are vicious. Yeah.
Built their case. Now, in a January 14 text message, Mr. Tate indicated that help was on the way. Quote, I had word.
But here's another thing. When you hear these allegations about somebody, why would you let them anywhere near you? What do you think about that, Mike? Yo, like, what's up with that? These rumors, these allegations are out there in the public. What would possess a person to allow these two to be around them when they have these allegations, criminal allegations made about them? That the only thing
influence. Influence.
No, I'm talking about Trump. What influence can Trump get? Like,
well, no. I mean, he when like the
his
appeal
sons?
of
Okay,
the
go ahead.
manosphere, his sons, right? His sons, right? The young impressionable voters, right? Those are who really, who really
it's the voters.
who he's trying to maintain, right?
God.
Like the young individual, that younger crowd who is brought up or was brought up in the manosphere, right? That's who he dog whistles to, and he does it with everyone. That's why he was, cool with a lot of individuals, right? And he tries to make it seem like, oh, we're not close friends, but we speak often, right? Same thing he tried to do with Jeffrey Epstein, right? And a plethora of individuals who, were just at that point known criminals. And so when we look at that, I think it's influence, right? Because that's what he's been trying to do his whole life, right? Be around people who have a certain influence over others, and that's what he did even with this current his current administration, right? All them being, Fox News pundits and former Fox News pundits, like who is this guy? The guy who left freaking the FBI, who was alongside Cash Patel, who had his own podcast, right? You have Janine Shapiro, right?
Right.
So you have all these, they're all influential in their own bubbles, right? In their own conservative bubbles of different types of influence. And that's what he does, right? He pulls them into his circle to allow his influence to be stronger, right? Now he has control over that base, or he has influence over said base. And, I think that's a part of how he moves, right? Look at Rubio, right? Rubio talked hella shit about him, and now Rubio's on the team, right? Because he wants to appeal to that educated immigrant, or son or daughter, child of immigrants, right? Who are upper middle class or middle class nonetheless, and want to feel American, right? The J.D. Vances of the world, right? The individuals who are from the low class, but have education, right? So, but are still, Republican. He tries to pull any conservative, any neo-libertarian or libertarian nonetheless closer in his circle. And Andrew Tate was just another part of that, right? When it came to the manosphere, his influence on kids, right? Young men, like his own son, right?
Right.
And I just think that's primarily where, being around Andrew Tate mattered for him, right? I'm sure his son asked him, "Hey, Dad, what can we do for Andrew Tate? I'm a big fan," right? And it goes to show that the incel mentality and the hate around women isn't exclusive to poor individuals, right?
No.
Barron Trump has been privileged his whole life. He's been a multi-millionaire, now billionaire inheritance for his whole life, right? He's been in that limelight. He's been in those big circles, right? He's been around the elite forever, right? And I'm sure he goes to school with them. So it goes to show that it's not exclusive to, your poorer, lesser abled folk, right?
Right.
That still exists even amongst the elite, right? They still find themselves disconnected, lonely, and hateful nonetheless. But yeah, B.
Right. Yeah, exactly. That's true, man. I mean, it's never gone away, man. It's just a issue, a societal issue, and it's also global, bro. It's also global,
Yep, it is.
Yeah, so all right, let me rock some more of this. Let me see, and then we get
Heard
on
from
with
the Trump
rest.
admin that they're on top of things, Mr. Tate wrote to someone close to him in a message reviewed by the New York Times. I've been told I'll be...
So here, I'm sorry, y'all. Here we're listening to how close the Tate brothers have been communicating with the Trump family and the Trump administration and people within Trump's circle. So
Free soon, but Trump needs to see me in Miami, he said. The next month, an extraordinary order came down from the highest levels of the Romanian government.
Patrick, what's
a
up?
Times investigation found. The prosecutors were told to find a compromise with the Tates. Despite their misgivings, they lifted the travel restrictions, a move that Romania's prime minister thought would appease the Trump administration. Wow. The Trump admin used their direct personal power in order to get Barron Trump's sex trafficking, raping friend out of trouble. We're massively back, a grinning Tate announced in a video recorded for his followers on February 27th as a private...
You know, that was extraordinary in itself. I mean, it's not like the U.S. government had to do that. They didn't have to help them get out of prison in Hungary or get out of jail in Hungary. They didn't have to play any role whatsoever. They could have left that be up to their own private lawyers, their own private attorneys, right? Unless, now, in my view, right, from what I know about the American embassy, right, the American embassy is only gets involved because they're not supposed to be involved in, they don't go against the governments where their embassies are, right? They follow local law, right? So in my view, when the American, what I thought was happening is, or more likely, or what the norm is supposed to be, when the American embassy gets involved, it's because they found out that the local authorities did not follow the local laws, right? Somehow they violated their own laws. So in that case, that's when the American embassy might step in and say, listen, normally you do this, this, and this, and this. We want to know, why are you doing this case differently? Why are you not following your normal procedures or something like that? And then they say, aha, now you're treating an American citizen unfairly. You're not treating them as if you would treat any other person who's in your country, according to your own laws, but that's not the case here. They don't even claim that. It's just like these dudes are getting out on parole. They get it out on what is it called? They're getting released pending a trial, right? Isn't that what this is?
Yeah, they're getting released pending a case.
It's like
I don't know if there's any bail set, but they're still out pending charges. Yeah. So there was so it's just extra in my mind. That's extraordinary step, because your bail, if they're giving you bail and they're giving you bail according to the local laws, what role is there for the embassy to play? Unless there was some sort of claim that it would be inhumane somehow, that the prisons system is inhumane. That's extraordinary too, right? Because they voluntarily live there. For their charges, normally you wouldn't get bail granted, because they're a flight risk, right? They have dual passports, right? They have multiple influences, so normally, under normal circumstances, you wouldn't even be able to get any type of bail.
The average American would never be let out of that place. They wouldn't let him out for those kind of charges. Right. You know what I'm saying? These are serious charges, man. It is crazy.
Yes, they are.
Now, let me see here. Patrick says, morning, Holbia. Yo, what's up, Patrick? Let me see here. Has risen. Okay, yeah. The Tate brothers' poor behavior goes back years before these accusations came out. Okay, the social media ate their behavior up and promoted it. Exactly, they did. They definitely did. All right, so
Manosphere promoted that for sure.
And let me see. Somebody else here said, let me see something. I don't have my proper glasses on, but let me see. This is local neighborhood hood hater. Okay. You mean the U.S. citizens should get help from their embassy? Okay, and then he says they help that dumb player. Why shouldn't they? Okay, well, here's the thing. What if somebody called you a dumbass? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is this? But in any case, here's the thing. I don't know if you notice this, the difference between a weed possession charge and rape of children, of 15-year-old. Obviously you don't notice the difference, because you just skipped right past those differences, and they helped that lady with the weed, that dumb lady. What if you're just dumb, But here's the thing. I don't know how many people understood what I said. Usually, whatever the American embassy does, if they step in, because they don't go against whatever law. When you're a citizen, American citizen, and you're traveling in another country, you're supposed to follow that law in that country. That's the agreement you make when you step foot there, right? So usually the American embassy's role is not to help you get out of a crime, right? They only step in when they see that the local authorities, according to how they normally do business, according to their actual laws that they say they uphold, for some reason did not follow their own law. That's usually where the American embassy steps in. They can't save you from a crime that you committed in another country on another country's soil. So, you might be mad because a basketball player that was invited to Russia to teach basketball got help to get back because she got caught with some weed. You might be angered about that and offended about that, but I would say you pretty weird for even connecting the two things. Was she aware that was a crime that she was committing? That's one question. Did she serve her time according to the Russian authorities? I mean, I think you might want to look into that. As a matter of fact, I'm not sure if she did, but I think she might have. I think they just lessened her sentence and let her out. But this is not the case with the Tate brothers either. They're pending trial right now in Romania for sex trafficking. Do you understand how serious that is? Oh, now he's arguing about somebody else. Okay, well, look, you started off talking about the dumb basketball player. That's how you described her. That was your words, right? So, listen, you got to be specific. If you want to talk about people, you need to be specific. No, I'm not aware of how many Americans, because you ain't making anybody aware. As a matter of fact, here, let me put the panel link down. You can hop up. Here you go. Boom. Hop on up and have a conversation. Explain to us. Let us know all your information. Let people hear your voice. Let us know. Come on up. Hop on up. You're welcome to hop on up and talk your shit. Now, let's proceed now to something that let's stick on this, because we don't like sex traffickers. We actually think that's a problem, right? Even if it wasn't connected to Trump, we would think that's a problem. If you look at my prior videos, you will see that I'm actually doing videos on sex trafficking also already prior, and it had nothing to do with Trump, and it had nothing to do with any Democrats. It had nothing to do with any Republicans. So, but in this case, in this current news, we're talking about Trump because, yeah, that's weird as fuck to be associating with these guys. And if you don't see that, something's wrong with you, man. Something's wrong with you.
Private plane whisked the brothers
it's not a good look to try to get off topic here, okay?
Florida. Their arrival in the United States opened a rare rift among conservatives
Big
and raised
girl.
suspicions over whether the White House had intervened. The Times found that support from the admin had played a crucial role. Andrew Tate has been warping and distorting and poisoning the minds of young people all across this country, and Barron Trump is somebody who apparently helped us. Andrew also nurtured relationships with Donald Trump Jr. and his younger brother Barron, as we heard earlier on in the video.
Spoke to Barron after the incident, and
So he spoke to Barron, this is about a year or two back, after being originally investigated. What is happening here? Like father, like son, both Barron Trump and Donald Trump want to help cover up for sex trafficking pimps and weirdos. After Trump's re-elections, some of Tate's supporters ascended into the new administration, like Richard Grenell. People were lobbying for Donald Trump to help him, and it looks like he did. I want to play for you this final video of Andrew Tate caught on video, saying some disgusting things. And this is likely going to get this YouTube video suppressed or demonetized. It doesn't matter. This is worth spreading. It's worth showing you. Listen to this.
Am I a bad person? Because the more you didn't like it, the more I enjoyed it.
Hold on. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do something else here. I'm going to slow it down because I don't want it to also do that here. Let's see.
Loved how.
Here we go.
It's worth showing you. Listen to this.
Am I a bad person? Because the more you didn't like it, the more I enjoyed it. I loved how much you hated it. Turned me on. Why am I like that? Why?
Whilst we were having sex, his hand on my strangled.
Okay, yeah. So you get the idea. Yeah, this is not good shit. So I'm just going to pass this one up. People can go and listen to that if you want to hear it on Adam Mockler's feed. You know, big up to Adam Mockler for his journalism. Now, but let's keep it going because there is more on this. Let me see here. Where is this at? Did I miss something? Is this the only one? Hold on. Okay, yeah, maybe. Okay, I think that was it right there. Now, listen, folks. Sorry about that little confusion. Listen, right now they're still in the U.S. They haven't been extradited, and they're fighting extradition. So that's the official word. It looks like it's possible. It's quite possible they won't be leaving the U.S. even though the Brits have charges on them. So that would be Hungary has charges on them. That would be now the Brits have charges on them. And lo and behold, guess who helped them come back to the U.S.? The Trump circle. The Trump circle helped them come back to the U.S. So it's going to be interesting to find out if they ever make it to the U.K. Because in my view, if they don't make it to the U.K., then that means Trump initially or his circle helping them come back to the U.S. from Romania. That's the same as helping them get away from the UK too. So I think this is going to turn out to be very, very interesting. And I think it's going to be what it is, what people think it is. Like, it looks like Trump or his family are definitely associated with these people. This is a behavioral thing. They don't shy away from persons that are involved in sex trafficking. Basically, they do not shy away from people involved in sex trafficking. Trump did not shy away from a person that was involved in sex trafficking for 15 goddamn years. That's Jeffrey Epstein. He didn't shy away. He was his best friend during his most prolific trafficking, blackmailing. So I myself, I'm sorry. I think this is starting to look more like the same type of dynamic. And it could be overreacting to it. I'm just a very suspicious person. Now, in any case, let's move on. Let me see here. There's more to this. Boom. Let's see here. There's more to the freakiness. All right. Do me a favor. Click the like button if you haven't clicked the like button. And subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Look, I had another stream set up, so some people got caught in that stream waiting, and this one, for some reason from the system here, it triggered another stream. So I'm sorry about that. But in any case, come on in, y'all.
For
Appreciate
decades now, Republicans have run on being the party of law and order. Of course, it was a lie, just like they back the blue or support veterans. So when Trump campaigned that
Occupy Democrats,
his reign of deportation terror was going after the worst of the worst, people bought it hook, line, and sinker. What Trump really meant to say is that ICE is going to hire the worst of the worst, and by God, they accomplished that goal, as the shooting of an innocent and completely legal immigrant in Maine just proved. Now the Trump administration is lying left and right, trying to justify the shooting. But I'm going to show video of the ICE killer's ex-wife exposing how Trump and his administration gave a badge and a gun to an absolute lunatic. And I'm here to tell you, exposing this killer's identity begins with the good citizens of Maine who got out their cameras, took photos and video, and asked the internet to identify the agent. And the internet came through. Soon, people not only identified David Brulette, but described him as an out-of-control, violent person. It didn't take long for Team Trump to start posting counter-narratives. First, they tried the age-old lie that Johann Sebastian Guerrero tried to run over ICE agents. It's their go-to lie, so no one believed it anyways. But then, whoops, this video came out. Yeah, that's ICE ramming his car and then shooting him for it. What you can't see here is that his 3-year-old daughter is in the back seat.
I'm going to pull that back one more time. Yeah, here we go. Let's see that one more time.
Yeah, that's ICE ramming his car and then shooting him.
All right, let me see here. They said ICE rammed his car. So let me go back. Okay, that's that right there. Okay, so let me just slow this down a little bit. Let me slow this down. I'm curious about that. I'm sure there's better footage, but it's worth checking this out real quick while it's here. Here we go. Right. There's the car. So ICE's vehicle is slammed into the side of his vehicle. He can't look at this. I'm sorry, but listen, this is their story. You can't his car is the car headed straight towards us in the left video, facing us, right? His wheels don't go sideways. His wheels don't go sideways. They are rammed right into the passenger side of his vehicle. So they lied. They lied. There it is. It's crazy. No surprise. So what the allegation is here, right? Just for people that haven't heard about this, right? In the front of this vehicle, there's supposed to be a bullet hole through the front window of his car. Is that correct? Mike, you there? Sorry about that. I know I caught you off guard. This is the one, right? With the bullet hole is in the front of his window, right? Through the driver's side of the window. Not the driver's side, the front window on the driver's, wherever the steering wheel is, there's a bullet hole there. And then they rammed the car on his passenger side, right, to get it to stop, apparently, or right? And so they lied about the ramming because obviously the driver, the person that they killed, you can't ram anybody that way. You can't ram someone. What is this?
So just keep in mind that the reason why they were or thought they could lie is because they don't have body cameras. And this footage came out after they made their report. So that's why now we're finding about this the way we're currently finding about this, because that was a bystander video who recorded the incident. Okay, right.
But, yeah. Okay. This is, man, and it's no surprise, man. I've just given up with ICE. I really find it hard to I wonder. I think people that don't see that ICE has been violating people's rights and been actually killing people, and killing them, for things that every citizen should be concerned about. Even a non-citizen, just a resident, should be concerned about being confronted by any police organization that way. It almost appears to me like seriously, if you want people to stop their cars, why do you behave this way in the first place? Because would I stop? I mean, what are the chances of a person that looks like me just being shot by them? What are the chances?
So an additional part of this case is the fact that they were unidentified, right? Unidentified.
So they're masked
no badges, They have no.
What?
Yes.
All right, let me
So
pull this
they're
up.
masked up. They have no badges, no nothing, right? Nothing visible to the person, right? It's just people with guns, right? You don't know if they're ICE because they haven't announced themselves, right? Because they didn't announce themselves. They just ran the car, did what they did, right? So that's where, and apparently there was an FBI memo sent out that they're no longer going to investigate any ICE stops. So that's a whole nother can of worms that, that has more recently been confirmed through the New York Times, if I'm not mistaken, that a mass memo was sent out to FBI agents saying that they're no longer going to be reviewing any of the ICE cases going forward. Trump has denied it, but every source says that, yes, that did happen. There's obviously people who are telling within the FBI that this is what their reality is, that they are not expected to investigate any more issues involving ICE. But yeah, B.
Okay. I want to just pull this up. Yeah, go ahead.
And it's just, they were unidentified, right? In the words of V, unidentified and anonymous, right? And so they essentially did this not knowing or thinking that they would be stopped, right? Or that they could lie because there was no body cameras. And so they just created the best case scenario for them in terms of what would make them obviously the least in charge, right? Or the least capable of doing any type of wrongdoing. So it's just a pattern with ICE, right? And I think it's ignorance to not acknowledge that pattern, right? I think regardless if you're pro-immigration, how they enforce immigration is a very big thing, right? Because that sets the precedent for how they're going to treat our own individuals and our own citizens in the case that you're even suspected of being an illegal. And I think that's what a lot of individuals on the right, they just don't understand that, right? And so, what's funny is, if I'm not mistaken, the mistaken identity individual who was mistaken identity was Colombian, but he just so happened to be a far right supporting Colombian, right? So he supported this past president. Yeah.
So they were looking for a Trump supporter.
No, they weren't, right? It was a mistaken identity, but it just so happened to be this Trump supporter / right-wing supporter for the Colombian government was the one who was wrongfully stopped and killed.
So right? Guerrero supported Trump, and they weren't even looking for him. They were looking for someone else.
Yes. So Trump and Trump adjacent. So obviously we know that there was a more recent election that Trump promoted a far right candidate for president for Colombia who won. And it just so happened that this individual who got mistaken identity and killed, that Colombian individual, he ended up he ended up being the target or wrongful target of this administration. So
this is
the irony
bizarre.
Is hilarious.
Now let me ask the chat a question. Do you think it's okay for ICE to kill Trump supporters? Put a 1 in the chat if you think that's okay, and you would just say, yay, well, no investigation. Way to go, ICE. If the person is a Trump supporter, do you not want any investigation? Do you just think it's okay? Would that be fine? Put a 1 in the chat if that would be fine. Put a 2 in the chat if you think there's something wrong with that. I'm just curious what people think. Because I see somebody in the chat talking about Trump is awesome. Yeah. Somebody said Trump is awesome. So, yeah. Of course, it's let me see.
No, but what about him is awesome, right? Like, that's just what I want to know. What do you support? And give me policy, give me legislation, right? Give me something that's substantial rather than the populist talking point and mindset that most MAGAs have. They can't give you one bill that they support and why and how it either helps them directly, economically, or people they care about, right? And that's what frustrates me the most, right? They're so consumed with a cult-like mentality that nothing Trump does can be criticized. And even on the left, when we speak about a Biden or Kamala, we don't defend them for the wrong reasons, right? We defend them for certain reasons and certain policies that they've enacted that show their political affiliation or their integrity
listen.
towards how they.
Look, bro. Look, man. When George Floyd was happening, right? I was here in Copenhagen, right? And we had many demonstrations. I organized like a couple of different co-organized with co-founder of organization over here called Afro Empowerment Center. We organized demonstrations in front of the American embassy while Obama was the president, saying, yo, the U.S. government. We weren't just saying Obama. It wasn't politicized. It was the U.S. government is not doing enough to protect citizens from police brutality. Very simple. And it wasn't an issue about one person or who it is. We were talking about just the impunity, the totalitarianness of it, you know? And so it's funny that I see today, right, people that play politics with this. I noticed in the chat, the person that said Trump is great didn't answer the question. So when I said, is it okay for ICE to kill Trump supporters? Is that okay? Put a 1 in the chat. The person that said Trump is okay is great didn't answer. Look, this guy, local neighborhood, whatever, didn't answer. They do anything to not answer the question? You see what I mean? And that means they're phony and they're fake. That's what that means. And here's the panel. Here it is. Hop on up on the panel, because I would really like to hear from the hypocrites too. Now let's continue.
Yeah, that's ICE ramming his car and then shooting him for it. What you can't see here is that his 3-year-old daughter is in the back seat. Then, to counter ICE lying, this video surfaced showing none other than David Brulette pulling his gun on a crowd.
Get back, I'm gonna shoot you. You're gonna what? You're gonna hit me?
We've been watching ICE escalate in their lawlessness, in their violence, in their brutality against citizens and immigrants, and we have been warning that if they are not reined in, they were going to start murdering people in the street.
Yep, that's our law and order Republican administration at work. Then more stories surfaced about Brulette. 2 ex-wives describe a pattern of abusive and violent behavior. His ex-wife tried to report the abusive behavior to the military, and she was ignored. Local newspapers documented what can only be described as a troubled and sporadic career, including tours of duty in Afghanistan that caused him to suffer from PTSD. All of this.
Okay, so here's the next question. Should example, ICE agents or anyone suffering from PTSD that has been in the military, has been in war, should they be allowed to police citizens and residents just in the streets of America? Should that be allowed? Right? Put a 1 in the chat if people that have been in war that suffer from PTSD should be allowed to work in ICE or any other police organization in the United States of America. Put a
any
1.
Mental disorder.
Yeah. Say that again.
Any mental disorder.
Any mental disorder. Put a 1 in the chat if anyone suffering from any mental disorder should be allowed to work for any police agency, including ICE. Put a 1 in the chat if you think that's okay. Put a 2 in the chat if you think it's no. Any other answer doesn't really matter right now, because we use these 1s and 2s to qualify other statements that people make. in the chat, period. So I just want to see what type of person you are. Is it okay? Should people suffering from mental illness be allowed to work for police organizations in the United States of America? Put a 1 in the chat if you think that's okay. Put a 2 in the chat if you think, hell no, that's not okay. Let's see who answers what.
Also, just for the chat in general for this live,
Yeah.
if you could pull up something later on, in terms of Reagan's amnesty for illegal immigrants.
Okay.
That happened. That was a thing.
Yeah.
Just so everyone's aware.
I'm gonna pull that out. I'm just want to see real quick in the chat who is here. Listen, these are the rules of the chat. In case people don't know, right? I'll repeat the rules. The chat is open. It's not even in subscriber mode. That means even non-subscribers, even haters can join the chat. But here's the thing. We want to know what you think, and we can't get to really to understand what you think if you don't answer these 1s and 2s. So part of being in the chat means you have to answer the questions 1 or 2. Everybody. It's not for some people. Nobody's special here. It's for everybody. No matter if you support Trump or not. It doesn't matter if you're Republican, Democrat, immigrant, black, white, straight, gay, whatever, Mexican or black, any other ethnicity. It's just any other variation, Muslim, Christian. You are not special here. You have to answer the question. It is fair for everybody, even people that disagree. But I'm just waiting. Local neighborhood hater, you didn't answer the question. So come on, give us a 1 or a 2. Is it okay for people with mental illness to work for police organizations in the United States of America? Put a 1 in the chat if you think it's okay. Put a 2 in the chat if you don't. Still waiting for local hater. Local hater, what's going on? Thank you. That wasn't that hard, was it? Come on, cooperate. Don't ask for people to be better than you. Okay? Now, you're not special. Okay? Now, let's go. Let's continue.
Was ignored by ICE when they hired him, and now he's at the center of killing an innocent man. But here's what ICE is not telling us, that David Brulette admitted to the shooting. And as is typical of these law and order MAGA morons, he admitted it and is actively trying to cover it up. Watch this.
David, back in November, brought up that he had accepted a job with ICE. I thought that it was just a delusional thing because I'm used to him talking crazy, so to speak. So I said, yeah, sure you are, buddy. I didn't realize that he was actually working for ICE until yesterday, and I was completely shocked because I'm like, how do you keep getting into these jobs where you're around guns all the time? I asked him what was going on. He told me that I don't need to be answering questions for anybody, that all I needed to know was that it was a justified shooting.
Damn, you could see right here they rammed his damn car. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could see right here they rammed his car. And they had the nerve to go out there and lie about it. I mean, this is just outright lawlessness.
And that he did do it. And he claimed that this man had tried to run him over. And I said, I don't see that in anything. And I've watched it from all angles. All I seen is how the car was going in circle after the fact. And then he's like, well, I need you to lie about my character because this is what it comes down to is my character. I don't want you talking about any of the abuse in our relationship. Like, this is literally about me, actually. I told him that I was not going to lie for him, that I've waited years to speak my truth. I've been silenced long enough, and now I need to come out with everything because a man lost his life. It was abuse, not only to me, but to our daughter. And even being divorced from him, I've dealt with harassing phone calls, threats of him wanting to kill me. I believe that this...
Is it okay? Who in the chat supports this officer right here? Put a 1 in the chat if you support this ICE agent. Put a 2 in the chat if you do not support this ICE agent. His behavior in general, whether it's there, whether it's with his ex, if this is the ex-wife or ex-mother, whatever, the abuse that she claims that she suffered. I mean, is that okay? Is this the best you're going to get? Is this what you want to backing you up at your job? You want to work with this person? Or would you refuse to work with this person? You know, I'm just saying, would you hire this person? Would you validate this person? What if this person did this to you? Would this be okay if this person did this to you? I mean, because that's why we asking the question. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. If this is okay, then that means it's okay for them to do this to you. That's all that means. And maybe if you think it's okay, maybe it should happen to you. That's what I say.
Man was murdered. I believe that David's mental health played a part in what happened. I think what happened was he was standing there during that operation, had a PTSD moment, and hit fight or flight mode. And unfortunately, a man lost his life due to it.
And that is the Trump administration in a nutshell. Just lie. Trump is nothing but a full-time operation lying machine. His racist-in-chief, Stephen Miller, lies on cue. All they know how to do is lie. And this is the party of law and order. Wrong. They are the party of disorder, hiding behind the law.
Yeah.
And it is high time.
That's interesting. Now, this is some MAGA folks right here tripping out on Trump. Okay. So in case you thought it's just a thing about lefties and always being against righties, you know, obviously that would be ignorant to think, because that means you're missing a whole lot of nuances. You've been missing the righties that don't like Trump. You've been missing the righties that are stepping away from Trump. You miss Nick Fuentes say, forget Trump. He's selling out the country. Now here's some more for some righties.
About our leaders, I'm not going to lie. I'm disappointed with some aspects of the Trump presidency, for sure. I'm not going to lie. It's grifty. You know, the Trump family is grifty. There's been like story after story about all the money that his sons are making off of the government, these government contracts they're getting, all that. I can't stand that stuff. I didn't like it when Hunter Biden was doing it, and I don't like it when the Trumps are doing it.
Don't fall for sad Megan. There was never even a wild accusation about Hunter Biden that comes close to approximating what Trump and his family are doing. But it is an interesting political moment where the MAGA base just cannot launder any more of Trump's brazen corruption. They appear to want to align themselves with voters in the center and on the left who have a big problem with the Trump family's egregious corruption and grift, all at the expense of competent leadership and U.S. national security. Again, for Megyn Kelly's lame attempt at any comparison, as the Free Press puts it, quote, for all the condemnation of the so-called Biden crime family by Republicans, it pales in comparison to what's happening in this presidency. There is no modern parallel for the scale and shamelessness with which Trump has enriched himself while in power. We're back with Charlie and Eddie. Charlie, Trump was largely a failure in business. He was rich, yes, but he inherited it from that great reporting. I think he's suing the Times reporters over about the size of his inheritance and how much he lost because he wasn't a particularly great business person. But the richest he's ever been, the most money he's ever made, are the 15 months he's been.
All right, let me see. Let me do a poll real quick. How many people in the chat voted for Trump? Put a 1 in the chat if you voted for Trump. Put a 2 in the chat if you voted for Kamala Harris. Put a 3 in the chat if you voted for somebody else. I'm just curious about that. I'm talking about the 2024 election, right? And the reason why I asked that is because obviously the behavior that you see, right? You got a chance to see Biden. It's okay to say you voted for Biden and you wanted to vote for Kamala Harris also, because then people could say, okay, well, you liked a lot of the things they did, right? You stand by the things they did. You like that. It's the same thing for Trump supporters. Who voted for Trump? Put a 1 in the chat if you voted for Trump. Put a 2 in the chat if you voted for somebody else or voted for Kamala Harris. Put a 3 in the chat if you voted for somebody else. I'm just curious about this, because a lot of times people don't like to own up to their own pathology. A lot of people who voted for Kamala Harris, for example, said that if you vote for Trump, Trump is going to what? Do all kinds of things. He's going to try to stop the elections, right? He's never going to want to leave power. He's going to weaponize the government against his enemies, political adversaries, right? He's going to, do all kinds of things. I mean, that inflation would go up even higher, right? He would, there was a lot of things that people said. And people said, nah, forget you. You're just lying. Forget you, liberal. Everything you say is a lie, liberal. I'm voting for Trump. I want to know who voted for Trump. Local neighborhood. Who did you vote for? Stop ignoring the questions. Put a 1 in the chat if you voted for Trump. Put a 2 in the chat if you voted for Kamala Harris. Put a 3 in the chat if you voted for someone else. You're not special. The rules apply to everybody the same. There you go. So you liked Trump's pathology. Now, what is it that you're seeing about Trump's pathology now that you don't like? Because
you continue to like.
Yeah. What is it that you don't like? What is it you don't like? If you voted for Trump, what is it that you don't like about Trump this time? See, so this person, you see, he says, I don't just vote for the party or I vote for the individual and what they do and their actions. Okay, right. So I got it now. So, and then he said before,
what has Trump done that you like?
Yeah.
What has Trump done that you support?
Yeah, what has Trump done that you like? And then he said before that it's just the same old corruption. So you like the corruption? Is that what you're saying? That's exactly what he said. Look at this comment right here. Just normal corruption. Let me put it up on the screen for everybody to see. Right here. Local neighborhood hater said, that's just normal corruption.
You voted for corruption, like known corruption. This is what you wanted.
To me, this just sounds like the gutter. Like a gutter person with gutter expectations, standing by gutter behavior, not expecting anything better, not wanting anything better. And
it sounds like people are making excuses for supporting someone who has questionable morals, but to each their own.
Exactly. Trump just paid somebody, had to cough over $5 million to a civil case that he lost where a woman accused him of sexual assault. You stand by that too? You stand by that?
I guess that's just normal corruption, apparently.
Just normal corruption. Exactly. Just normal corruption. 34 counts, 34-time felon. Just normal corruption. I stand by that too. Yeah. I stand by that too. I mean, people like this, you know what happens to people like this? Trump ends up fucking them over too. That's all that's happening. He's getting fucked over himself by Trump, but he's too delusional. He's like hoping that somehow it's going to turn out different. No, you're getting fucked over by Trump right now. You're broke. You can't afford what Trump is doing to you. You can't afford what Trump is doing to your family. If you're an American citizen, you are getting your ass whipped right now, especially if you're a Trump supporter. That's what it is. So you're not fooling anybody. The data is out. The data's out.
Back in office as America's president, he's made $2 billion.
Yeah, if only Megyn Kelly had been warned about all of this. And earlier we were discussing the U.S. Supreme Court decision immunizing him. I mean, Donald Trump is basically acting as someone who will never face accountability. But when Eddie was talking about, was in the last segment, was talking about the attack on truth, I was reminded of Gary Kasparov's quote. The point of modern propaganda is not only to misinform or push an agenda, it is to exhaust our critical thinking, to annihilate.
No, it's not 34 counts of business fraud. You forgot already what it was? It wasn't. It was campaign finance. It was. He took the money from his campaign to cover up the Stormy Daniels sex thing when he was cheating on his wife with a porn star, and that's a crime. Did you know that? So it's not just a business. Do you consider that handling your business? That's the kind of business you handle? Damn, you suspect, man. What the hell?
Truth.
I guess all those allegations from those people saying that he assaulted them also. It's just your kind of business, huh? Just what happens in business.
Also doing is annihilating a sense of ethical norms, the sense that everybody does it, that he is.
You hear that? Exactly. Going back to this comment, it's just normal corruption. That's exactly what he's saying, trying to play in this game. Everybody does it. Shit, I don't do that shit.
An agenda.
I don't stand by none of it. I don't stand by any corruption.
Biden did that?
Huh?
Biden did that?
No, Biden didn't do that. And that's the thing about Kamala. Kamala Harris ain't in the Epstein files. Biden's not in the Epstein files. Obama's not in the Epstein files. But here's the thing. And they didn't do any of this. They haven't been convicted or charged of anything like this. Not even by Trump. Trump can't find one measly crime to get Obama for. Not one measly one. Not even a jaywalking ticket. Not for cheating on his wife. He can't
be arrested.
Did Biden cheat on his wife? Did Kamala Harris cheat on her husband? Did Obama cheat on his wife? He can't even find one measly. Trump is in power right now. The Supreme Court is 6 Republicans on it, the majority. The Senate majority Republican. The damn Congress majority Republican, right? Every appointee to the Justice Department is Republican. They can't find one measly crime on Biden. Why not? Why can't you find a crime on Biden? Why can't you find a crime on Kamala Harris? Why can't you find a crime on Obama? Oh, you mean his son
would? He said he would.
Look, he's talking about his son is good enough. His son is good enough? No, you said the government was weaponized against Trump. Trump. Now, what you going to do about it, Trump? Prosecute somebody, Trump. Why don't you prosecute Biden if you can find something for him? Why don't you prosecute Kamala Harris if you can find something? What's wrong? You can't find nothing? Why don't you prosecute? Where's the prosecution, Kash Patel? Where's it at? Todd Blanche. Where are the prosecutions, Todd Blanche? Where you can't get no sex tape of Obama cheating on his wife that he got to cover up? You can't find one with Kamala Harris? You couldn't find it, huh? Yeah, I get it. It's all the same. They all the same, but you can't find nothing on them. I mean, that's the crazy thing about it. He's talking about they found his son. His son wasn't the president. Trump was. Trump's the president. Okay?
And he's appealing to being a democratic socialist. No one's debating what your political ideology is. We're debating where you're wrong factually, right? And the disprovement of that is through lack of prosecution on Trump's part now that he is in power, now that he has all the information. Do you think that regardless of whether he could charge a former president or not, that he would skip a beat if he had any information that Biden was corrupt? If he had any other information about Biden's son, Hunter Biden, that he just wouldn't make it public just to diminish and demean the Democratic Party? Do you not think for 1 second that Trump would do that? Or is he morally so superior that he says, you know what? No, I don't want to show this evidence that I have, even if I can't charge him. Trump is petty. Trump is one of the most pettiest persons, forget presidents. He's one of the most pettiest people on this earth. And if you think for a second that he would not take his DOJ, run an investigation, which he probably already has, on Biden and Kamala and Hunter Biden, just to expose them, even if he couldn't charge them, you're delusional at that point. I'm sorry. I don't care if you're a Republican. I don't care if you're a Democratic Socialist. I don't care what political affiliation you have. At that point, you're deranged. But go ahead, B.
I'm just like, I'm curious about that. I just, the excuses about it. I mean, Trump,
if you don't like Biden, say that. But to say that he's corrupt with no proof, it's ignorance.
No. Listen, I'm even okay with people saying they're corrupt with no proof. Why? Because Biden didn't say it. You see what I mean? They prosecuted his ass. They didn't sit down and do nothing. They prosecuted his ass. What are you talking about? They didn't just sit there and say, Trump is corrupt. Trump has paid out $5 million in a civil case to a woman that said he assaulted her. okay, in a dressing room, had his hand up her. Yes, that's what he's guilty of hiding money, lying about the money he used to pay off a newspaper to not run a story on a porn star that he cheated on his wife with. Yes, he's guilty of that. Then the Mar-a-Lago shit, he got prosecuted. They took it. They had the evidence for that. The court tried to they didn't just sit back and accuse him of something. They went after Trump. So why isn't Trump going after Biden? Why isn't Trump going after Kamala Harris? Why isn't Trump going after Obama? Why is he so weak at it? You don't want no get back? Trump doesn't want any get back? Why hasn't Cash Patel charged? Why hasn't Todd Blanche charged? Why didn't Pam Bondi charge? Why didn't they do anything? Where's Tulsi Gabbard? Tulsi Gabbard went down to Georgia to investigate election fraud. What happened to that? What happened to the election fraud? The head of intelligence, U.S. intelligence, was down in Georgia investigating. What happened? She just disappeared. She just disappeared. See you later. Ain't nobody home but us chickens. Bye. They see Trump and them, these MAGA people, they do all the allegations. They don't do none of the prosecutions well at all. None. You see what I mean? And when they find one Democrat that has done something corrupt, then they want to work with him. Like Mayor Adams and shit. They let Mayor Adams off of being prosecuted by the feds. The feds were prosecuting a Democratic mayor in New York City, and Trump's federal government said, nah, let's give this man a pass. Wow. So the Trump administration are some punk asses. They don't do shit to Democratic elected officials. Period. They're weak. They didn't get shit. They didn't prosecute Biden. He's still out there living his best life on the beach with his glasses on, his old ass and shit. Obama is out there looking real fly. What happened? Where's it at? How long is it going to take? You ain't good at it? But in the meantime, they hanging out with the Tate brothers, and the Tate brothers are detained and charged. The Tate brothers are charged with sex trafficking. Meanwhile, they charged with sex trafficking. Trump helps get his cohorts around him, help them get free and brought back to the United States of America. The UK is now charging them with sex trafficking and grape. And lo and behold, who do you think is going to keep the Tate brothers in the United States of America? If the Tate brothers don't leave and get extradited to the UK, it will be because Trump doesn't want them to. It will be because Trump protects another person, another corrupt person. That's what that will be. And let me tell you, Biden and Kamala Harris definitely ain't protect Trump's ass. Okay? So there you have it. And Hillary Clinton laughed at him. Where's the prosecution of Hillary Clinton? Whatever happened to lock her up? Lock her up. Lock her up. You ain't lock her up yet.
She's not immune from these charges.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And when we do this, we're repeating Republican right-wing talking points. They're not even factual. It's just talking points.
Whatever happened to the baby blood drinking Hillary did? You ain't lock her up for drinking baby blood on Epstein Island yet? Yeah. Release the tapes. I want to see her drinking baby blood on Epstein Island. Release the tapes, y'all. Release them. Let's go. Whatever happened to that? So the MAGA people specifically, all they are is a bunch of shit talkers and bigots. They're going out there looking for little innocent pieces of people to meddle with ICE. That's all they've done. Everything else has been a crock of bullshit. They can't even handle Iran. You know, they out here begging other countries to help them. You can't handle Iran? You can't handle Iran. The world's most powerful military can't handle Iran without begging everyone else. Who do they beg? They're begging NATO nations. Who did they go out and diss? Who did J.D. Vance diss? NATO nations. Who did Trump diss publicly? NATO nations. Who did he do it for? Putin. Who did they threaten to invade? Greenland. Who did they threaten to take? Canada. You think any NATO nation is going to fucking defend Trump? No. You got to do it on your own.
It is to exhaust.
Yeah, we didn't even start the war. We didn't start it. Another country did. The fuck?
No, Trump is out there kissing Netanyahu's ass. That's how weak Trump is. He's a Netanyahu ass kisser. Okay, Netanyahu is walking him around like a dog, loving it, embarrassing his ass.
And I just, like, what's upsetting is, you preface it by saying I'm a member of the DSA, as if that matters. What matters is the fact that you are repeating Republican talking points. Like that's propagandic talking points that you fell into. And if you can't see that, I don't know what to say to you. Right?
Look,
you have just been brought into propaganda. That is literal propaganda talking points that are not factual at all. And here you are repeating it blatantly as if it's truth. Right? Instead of asking a question, you just repeated propaganda. Period. And that's what's upsetting.
Yeah, and who is the only sitting president, to ever have a veteran of the Afghanistan war accuse the president of sex trafficking him when he was between the ages of 8 and 12? What other president has had a veteran accuse him of that openly to the public? None. Not Obama, not Kamala, not Biden, but Trump has. Yes, Trump has a veteran publicly accusing him of sex trafficking him when he was a little boy between the ages of 8 and 12 years old. A veteran of the United States military has accused Trump. And he also accused Trump of having his henchmen kill a little girl that they were sex trafficking to. Yes, it's public. So, I mean, these are the kind of people you back up? These are the kind of people you support? Because I definitely ain't supporting anybody like that. Period.
Well, he's a DSA member, so it erases everything, apparently.
Yeah. Well, DSA members don't cap for people being accused of sex trafficking little kids. You know, what organization you with? Local neighbor? What are you? What's your organization? You not MAGA? MAGA does that. They cap for Trump all day. They don't care if he's been accused. Here we go. Let's check this out. Let's continue. Let's continue. I thought you was gonna hop up, local neighbor. I thought you was gonna hop up, but I can see you scared to hop up and speak. You know, you want to keep your ass down there in the chat so nobody get to hear your voice and shit. You little fraud. All right, now let's continue.
To annihilate truth. What Trump is also doing is annihilating a sense of ethical norms, the sense that everybody does it, that the grift is so outrageous, it is so in public, and basically he's shrugging his shoulders when he said, I found out that nobody actually cared about. This is what he is doing. He is not only feeding the distrust of all institutions, feeding the distrust of all information, but feeding this sense of distrust that there are any ethical standards, any morality that we ought to hold the president to. And so the grift is out there. It is who he is. I agree with you that it is breaking through. This is one of those moments where the voters have to ask themselves, is he on your side? Is he looking out for you, or is he looking out for himself? And every single day we are seeing exactly what Donald Trump is most concerned about, which is self-dealing.
Yeah, I mean, Eddie, I wonder.
All right, so let's get on to the next one. This is what they say Trump is up to now in this current environment. They say that he is out to rig the elections. Now, let me go over to some other information real quick. Let me pull up the page here. Is it here? Right. Okay, so here we go. Now, let's go over here for a second. Boom. I want people to take a look at this. Should I make it a little bigger, or is it going to come up? Let me see. Boom. Right. All right. So let me fix this real quick. 2 seconds. Here we go. Right. Okay. So I think I can do that now. Here we go, y'all. So declassified documents confirm Russia tried to help Trump in the 2020 election, contradicting Trump's denial. Right. But it gets better, because there's more information on Trump. It's not just as simple as that, actually. Let me see here. Can y'all see this? Let me pull. Oh, right. I can pull it up over here. Here we go. Let me just get this formatted real quick so everybody can see what I'm reading from. Boom. And when I pop up the information, hopefully it comes up. Now, let's see here. Right. There's articles here. All of them are talking about the warnings that were given, right, to Trump. Now, let's see here. CBS News coverage of the declassified NIC documents. CBS, right? So here we go. Overview details the release of the National Intelligence Council NIC memorandum referencing the reporting. The article documents how foreign adversaries rely on propaganda and fabricate claims to undermine public confidence in elections, alongside the U.S. intelligence community assessment. U.S. voting systems are not connected to the internet and are vulnerable, right? So here, overview. Details released of the National NIC Council, right? Memorandum referencing the reporting. Hold on. Sorry about that. I don't know why that's there twice. Now here, CBS, right? Overview breaks down specific declassified intelligence documents explaining how findings regarding hypothetical vulnerabilities in the voting systems in foreign countries were contextualized compared to the U.S. elections infrastructure. Overview breaks down a specific declassified intelligence documents explaining how the findings hypothetically, right? Okay, why is that twice? Okay, now 2, official intelligence community and government portals, right? So that's what we're dealing with. DNI.gov right here. I don't know how many of y'all can see that. DNI.gov. Now, 2 official intelligence community and government portals. U.S. Office, of the Director of National Intelligence, ODN reports portal. Overview. Official portal for the Office of Director of National Intelligence hosting declassified intelligence assessments, including threat evaluations on foreign elections, interference, and voting infrastructure security. All right. Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agent, CISA, election security portal. Okay. Overview. And anybody can hit these links. This is on a post on my page. So feel free to go over to the post if you want to access the information. It is there. But check this out. Now it says detail how the U.S. voting machines operations, including strict physical security control, air gapping, non-connection to the internet, pre-election testing, and post-election paper audits used to verify election integrity. Right? Here we go. Now, for further visual context on how news outlets covered the declassified elections security assessment, you can view the reports. Now, let me see here. There's one of these where they actually tell Trump about about foreign agents spreading disinformation, and they're warning him about the very shit that he ends up using himself. Now let's see here. Did USA Two seconds. All right, so here, let me pull up some of the claims right here. These links right here, you can go to. It spells it out all, but I'm going to go through them right here. Now, listen, just for people to know. Here we go. Now, Here, yes, U.S. intelligence agencies have repeatedly issued formal warnings and declassified reports regarding foreign governments, particularly Russia, spreading disinformation to falsely claim the U.S. elections are rigged. That's reported in The Guardian. Okay, let's see here. Boom. Let's open that up. Right. This is in 2024. This is a new article, by the way. Okay. U.S. agencies warn of Russian election disinformation blitz in swing states. Russia, the most active threat, as false tales of election fraud pose risk of violence. Okay. So Russia-linked disinformation operations have falsely claimed officials in battleground states plan to fraudulently sway the outcome of the U.S. presidential elections, the authorities said in a few hours ahead of the opening of polling booths in November 5th vote. Russia is the most active threat. The Office of Director of National Intelligence, ODNI, and the FBI, the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, said Monday. These efforts risk inciting violence, including against election officials. They added, noting the efforts are expected to intensify through the election day. Okay, so they're talking about 2024. This statement also noted that Iran remained a significant foreign influence and threat to the election. So they're talking about propaganda online actors, right? So let me go back to this. Let's see here. What's the next one? What foreign agencies spread? What is it that they were spreading exactly? What are the exact words that they were using, right? So let's see if they pan out to be very similar, right? Or if these tend to be words that you've heard before yourself. Let me know if you've heard any of this stuff. What foreign agency actors spread? Russia, the most active threat. Fabricated ballot destruction. You see that right there? Fabricated ballot destruction. Manufacturing viral videos claiming to show election workers destroying mail and ballots marked for Republican candidates, such as the debunked video in Bucks County, Pennsylvania. That's reported by CBS, right? But this is the U.S. intelligence agency saying this. CBS is just reporting what they said. Okay. Now, fake illegal voting narrative, Russian cyber ops, spreading disinformation to American citizens and great frequency en masse. Okay, releasing stage videos depicting non-citizens, such as viral video falsely claiming Haitian immigrants were illegally voting multiple times in Georgia. So we know who was spreading that. Russian disinformation. Anybody who believes that is basically spreading a Russian disinformation op. You are helping the enemies of the United States of America. And you should be smacked in the face if you continue, theoretically. Now, here it is. Hacked data and manipulated documents. Look, this is more of the fake ass Russian disinformation. Hacked data and manipulated documents, infiltrating election systems, leaked stolen emails or foreign documents to falsely suggest voting databases were hacked or manipulated to alter vote counts. Russian disinformation. A lot of Americans repeat this. Oh, well, no wonder you're getting broker by the day. Okay. Main narrative, amplifying claims that election machinery is tampered with, that local election boards are corrupt, and that the political violence is inevitable, specifically targeting battleground swing states. Right. So that's just Russia spreading that right there. That was just Russia itself. Right. They're not the only actors, but that's Russia. That's what Russia spread. OK, those 1, 2, 3, 4 main lies over and over and over and over and over to the thousand, tens of thousands, 20,000, 100,000 degree. Iran, China, Iran is here. I mean, now here's the thing. This is the wonderful part about it, because a lot of these maggots, right, they don't have a problem with Russian disinformation. They got a problem with Iran. Notice that. Notice Trump, too. Does Trump have a problem with Russia? Does he have a problem with the people spreading that disinformation? No, but he's got a problem with Iran, right? Same thing with China. It's very interesting. Any problem with Netanyahu? No problem with Netanyahu. No problem with Putin. You know, all engaged in the similar things too. I mean, I even heard that Israel was engaged. Well, we don't even have to talk about that. Right now, Israel is a number 5 security threat, according to the Pentagon. That's the highest threat you can have. Is Israel, according to the current Pentagon, a level 5 security threat, the highest you can have? Give me the details. Boom. Let's see here. Then we're going to get into this vid. Okay, it says not quite. Check this out. Pentagon did not declare Israel a level 5 security threat on enemy nation. However, reports revealed that the Pentagon's Defense Intelligence Agency, DIA, elevated Israel's counterintelligence espionage threat rated to critical, which is the highest threat level in the counterintelligence system. Okay? Key details. The designation, the DIA raised Israel's counterintelligence threat level to critical in an internal 7-page assessment. That's recent. That's this year. That's under Trump's administration. Okay? The core concern. U.S. intelligence officials cited aggressive efforts by Israel's intelligence to monitor and spy on senior American officials. The primary goal of these alleged collection efforts was to gain insight into internal U.S. deliberations and policy decisions regarding conflicts involving Iran and Lebanon. Severity. Officials noted that while allies routinely monitor each other's policy stance, the scope and aggressiveness of Israel's recent intelligence gathering were viewed as exceeding what the considered normal or expected between allied nations. Targeted officials. Reports indicated concerns over attempts to monitor key Department of Defense officials and policy negotiators managing U.S. strategy. I mean, you know who these culprits are, right? What the critical designation actually means. Espionage risk, not military threat. A critical counterintelligence, right? Exactly. Same thing with Russia. Are they? You see that? Counterintelligence, espionage. Okay, disinformation. That's different from espionage, but espionage, isn't that what people are saying Jeffrey Epstein is up to? Okay. Counterintelligence designation reflects the risk of foreign spying and data interception, not a threat to direct military conflict or hostile acts. Israel remains a major non-NATO strategic partner. That's the partner. Partner spying on them. Operational security impact. The practical result is heightened security protocols for U.S. personnel. American officials and diplomats traveling to Israel or meeting Israel counterparts are advised to exercise extreme caution, including using single-use burner devices, clean laptops, and avoiding intelligence sharing unaffected. So, at the same time this is going on, I mean, you could see right now the bill regarding Israel inside of section 219 or 220, 224, whichever, depending on if you're dealing with Congress or the Senate's version of the bill, you could see it's getting fierce fight back. People are refusing, or enough people are refusing, to pass this bill with Israel's that basically gives Israel permanent status within the U.S. military funding. Okay, a lot of people aren't aware of that, so I'm just curious how folks feel about this. You see what I'm saying? All right, so look, let's go over now into what they're talking about regarding Trump here in this news in the midterms. So now we can see now we're dealing with espionage, we're dealing with disinformation, and And if it's fair game, if it's okay with you, hey, no problem. If you cool with this, no problem at all.
Live streaming coverage of President Trump's primetime address tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern on our website with context and real-time fact-checking from our partners at PolitiFact. That's at pbsnews.org/newshour. Now, for perspective on what the president is trying to achieve with tonight's speech, the limits of his authority, and the potential consequences for future elections, we turn now to Ty Cobb, an attorney who served as the special counsel during the first Trump administration. I spoke with him a short time ago. Ty Cobb, welcome back to the NewsHour.
My pleasure. Nice to be with you, Jeff.
Ty, you have described a broader pattern here. President Trump's focus on voting machines, his efforts to change mail-in voting, voter registration requirements, most recently his removal of members of the Election Assistance Commission. What does tonight's speech add to that picture?
Well, I think tonight's speech is intended to add the predicate that he needs to declare an emergency at or about the time of the elections. As you know, Steve Bannon and Todd Blanche have suggested that there will be ICE agents at the polls. I think that that's a virtual certainty. Whether that will include the National Guard or not, we don't know. But anything to intimidate minority voters, particularly immigrant voters, and also I think anything that allows them to, try to seize voting machines, as Trump wanted to do in 2020, but Bill Barr explained to him there was just no basis for it. I think you will see him doing everything he can to try to prevent the peaceful transfer of power, the election of Democrats, and do whatever he can to remain in power and to keep his cronies in power, so that he can continue doing what he thinks he's allowed to do as president, which is anything he wants.
President Trump has said in the past that he believes if Democrats win control of Congress in the midterms, that he'll be impeached. When you say that you believe he's intent on declaring a national emergency, what guardrails remain if the president does, in fact, use the power of the federal government to shape how the midterm elections are conducted?
I think the only real guardrail is, for people to get to the polls, to vote against the level of corruption and insanity and frivolity that we've seen, the type of conduct that has made the world more dangerous and that, has enriched President Trump to the tune of somewhere between, $4 and $8 billion during the time he's been in office. We know he made, $2.2 billion last year, largely on crypto. We know that his stock trades, he had hundreds of stock trades last year, if not thousands. I think Obama had 0, Biden had 13 by comparison. And many of those stock trades were followed by statements from Trump touting the products of the companies that he had bought or giving them government contracts. So what we have seen is so inimical to what it has historically meant to be an American president, where integrity, courage, straightforwardness.
All right, hold on now. Listen, I don't mind people disagreeing, and that's fine and everything, but you can't spread disinformation here, So this is Ty Cobb. He was one of Trump's actual lawyers, okay, when Trump was the president in his first term, and his mustache is real. So no problem. I don't know what that is about, but see you later, man. Nobody got time for your dumb ass here. Okay? Go find another place to spread stupid shit. All right? Now you can feel free to disagree with what he's saying, right? But I can assure you, mustache is not fake. Okay? There's nothing fake about what this dude was actually Trump's lawyer, and what he says is what we need to communicate about. And he believes what he is saying. So dispute that, right? He's actually telling you, okay? Listen first, then have a retort to it with some facts, okay? Very simple.
And an interest in the lives of the people that are being governed were at the front and center. We have a president now who's there solely to enrich himself, his family, and his cronies. and to wield power in a way that satisfies his basest instincts. We need people to come out and vote against that. That is the guardrail. Internally, unlike the first administration, when you had people like General Kelly, General Mattis, Nikki Haley, Mike Pompeo, people of character who would hold up their hand when Trump wanted to do something reckless or self-dealing. We don't have that now. I mean, we have the Stephen Millers of the world, the Todd Blanches, whose mantra is "I love you, sir. I'm your lawyer." Who has overseen revenge prosecutions, the hollowing out of 20% of the lawyers in the Department of Justice, most of the most experienced and talented lawyers who were in leadership positions, they're gone now, and we've redirected FBI and DOJ resources under Blanche and Patel to immigration cases, to the exclusion of counterterrorism cases, money laundering cases, fraud, and civil rights. So I think we need people to come out and vote against it. That's the best guardrail we have, and that's the only remaining guardrail in our democracy.
And yet, if there were genuine vulnerabilities in voting machines or attempts by China to interfere, those would be major national security concerns. How should a president responsibly address those concerns without using them to undermine confidence in an election that has already been settled?
Well, I think when you say those concerns, I mean, those concerns are inflated, overrated, and exaggerated. There is evidence historically that China and Russia, had some influence, peddlers that Iran and Venezuela have. That we do this around the world as well. Trying to influence people in public opinion. But on the voting machines, that's been looked at. And frankly, when Fox tried to support Trump's wild claims about abuse of voting machines in 2020, it cost them almost $1 billion, $787 million that they had to pay out, for fraudulently supporting Trump's unfounded claims. And we're going to see that again. Trump's going to make more unfounded claims. The intelligence that comes into the CIA and the FBI is always graded. Some of it's good. Some of it comes from reliable sources. Some of it arises under circumstances that have some credibility. None of the stuff that we're going to hear tonight is that, and particularly the Venezuela stuff. I mean, he's going to use Maduro, probably fabricate a statement of facts, to support a guilty plea from Maduro, which will later be followed by the type of Ghislaine Maxwell treatment where he gets favorable treatment in exchange for doing what the administration wants. I think people need to see through this, and you're not going to see reliable people historically who have the respect of the American people, the intellectuals, the historians, the journalists. You're going to see people that of the type of Bill Pulte and John Solomon, who have been conspiracy theorists from the start, who are willing to do whatever Trump asks, supporting these claims. But you're not going to see many credible people do this. And I think people need to, when you talk about serious claims, I think the serious is the flaw in that statement, because they aren't serious. This is unserious. This is Trump, acting out his fantasy and trying desperately to push his minions to help him pretend, as he has rewritten history over January 6th, as he has rewritten history about the 2020 election, to go along with him.
Right, and more planning from Trump. I mean, this is what Trump has been doing. This is what Trump is up to, and he's actually not only spreading that same information, right? He's not only here we go. He's not only spreading that same information, the disinformation that Russia was said to be spreading, the same exact information, line for line. It's actually quite devastating and dangerous, as you hear. They did say that part of their plan was to create violence in the United States. That's part of their disinformation plan. So, Trump also, what did he do? He also recently fired some federal election staff. Let me see. Monitoring staff. Did Trump? Let me see here. Trump fire federal election staff recently. Let me see here. I'm just curious about that. I heard that he did, but I just want to be accurate about exactly. So here we go. I mean, Americans need to be, I don't think you should be overly concerned. And like Todd Cobb said, actually vote early. You can vote early in a lot of cases. There still is online voting. There still is mail-in voting. I don't think Trump has really affected that yet, but there's also voting early. I think you can do it in other ways. You need to check your particular state, how you do it. But here, at the same time,
they usually have early voting booths maybe about 2 weeks before the official election.
Right.
Where you can go in
there we go.
regular polling site, and from there you can vote early. And obviously, I would say make it your civil duty, whether that's switching shifts, calling out for that day to just be able to vote. Because we don't know. We fully don't know what his plans are and how he'll affect this election, right? I think
right.
Obviously, I think I know what you're talking about as well. I think it was the elections committee, that he got rid of.
Exactly.
If I'm not mistaken,
it's the leadership of the Election Assistance Commission, the EAC.
Okay.
Right. This is what it says. It says Election Assistance Commission, EAC. Right. Firing the leadership of the Election Assistance Commission, EAC. The EAC is a bipartisan federal agency created by Congress. Right, to help states administer elections, certify voting machines, and manage the national voter registration form. Right. It says the purge. The White House emailed termination notices to 2 Democratic commissioners, Thomas Hicks and Benjamin Holan. Now, you know what's interesting about this? Why does Trump need to be so obvious about his partisanship? Right. Because I just think it's so obvious. If you wanted to commit a crime, right, and get away with it, you wouldn't do it the way Trump is doing it. Because did you know that it's illegal to do that? You can't weaponize the government. First of all, it's illegal to weaponize the government against a specific political party. Am I right?
So with this in particular situation, this was a part of the consolidating of executive powers, and so the more recent Supreme Court ruling allowed for him to do just this.
Okay. Yeah, because I think there's something in the Constitution that actually forbids weaponizing the government against specific like a political party. But hold on, I'm going to get to that right after this. Let's read this. The purge. White House emailed termination notices to 2 Democratic commissioners, Thomas Hicks and Benjamin Howland, or Howland, I think that's how you pronounce it, while the remaining Republican commissioner, Christy McCormick, was allowed to resign. A 4th Republican commissioner had previously stepped down. Okay, so there's Republicans stepping down that are like, I ain't fucking with this. The impact. The EAC is left with 0 sitting commissioners, preventing the agency from taking formal votes, updating guidelines, or issuing official policies ahead of the upcoming midterm elections. The White House rationale. A White House official confirmed the removal, stating that the president reserves the right to remove individuals that may not be totally aligned with the important task of securing Americans' elections. But that's what is he talking about? Securing. What does securing mean? What is the actual what do they call it? What is the actual mission of the AEC or the EAC? What's their mission? Their mission is this. Look, the EAC is a bipartisan. Can you see this? Is a bipartisan federal agency created by Congress to help states administer elections, certify voting machines, and manage the national voter registration. That's their mission. You don't get to change their mission to something else. Look at this. Oh my God. Look, they said the White House, the president reserves the right to remove individuals that may not be totally aligned with the important task of securing American elections. I don't understand this, to be honest with you. I'm not sure. You know, they're supposed to be there to fulfill the mission of the actual agency. Whatever, you know, it's like he changes the words. Okay, why change the words? Isn't their actual mission good enough? I mean, isn't this good enough right here?
It goes along with his narrative of voter fraud, right? Like that's what he's insinuating and dog whistling when he does things like this.
Right, but look at what their job is: to administer elections, certify voting machines, and manage the national. Their job is to do. And then the federal workers, their job is to actually make sure none of that bad shit happens that he's talking about.
But that's what he's saying, that they're not doing it, and the more recent elections was essentially fraudulent, right? And that's what he's getting at by doing something like this, right? He's dog whistling, saying that this is him essentially adding on to voting integrity when it's just not, right? Like clearly it's not. But these are committees that most people aren't familiar with. These are, these are checks and balances that most people are not familiar with. So when they hear it, they just think of it as some arbitrary thing that just means nothing, unfortunately.
Yeah. All right. So look, exactly. That's sad, man. Now, cuts to the federal. So he did more than one thing. Damn, this is crazy, man. He did more than one thing. All right. So broader cuts to the federal elections, cybersecurity personnel. The AEC firings are part of a wider effort by the administration to reduce and restructure the federal elections oversight bodies. Why would he do that right now? Why is he doing it?
Midterms.
Duh. You know, I mean, why didn't he do that in January? Why didn't he do that last year? There was no election last year.
All this was pending. Again, it was pending the Supreme Court ruling, right?
Okay.
The more recent Supreme Court ruling allowed for him to be able to do just this. If he could do it earlier, he would have. But he was tied, right? He was legally tied, and so now with the Supreme Court ruling in terms of his executive power and who he's allowed to fire and manage, now he's allowed. That's the reason why it's
happening now versus early. And when was the hearing? When was the ruling? That was in the last month.
Last month, first week of June.
Yeah. Okay. It was that ruling. All right. So it says here, cybersecurity infrastructure security agency CISA, over 1,000 personnel, roughly a third of the agency workforce, have been removed, terminated, or pushed out. Why not just evaluate them? I don't get that. You know,
it leads to his thing of corruption, right?
So they all corrupt.
Exactly.
The deep state. It's the deep state. Yeah.
Literally, that's what he's trying to say.
So the new people are going to be better than these people. If he can pull some people together at all, right?
Remember, when he said, "I need 11,000 votes,"
right.
This is what he's trying to get, right? His 11,000 votes, if need be, and send it to send it there to be able to justify it. Unfortunately, but this is the America we live in.
Yeah, this is it's pathetic, but CISA, also cut federal funding and support for election infrastructure threat sharing centers used by state and local election facilities. Federal funding. Okay, so he cut some federal funding. Okay. Mm-hmm. Now, used by the feds and the states. Okay. Office of Director of National Intelligence, ODNI. The administration gutted the Foreign Malign Influence Centers. Why would you do that? Why would you gut that? That's the one only dealing with foreign countries. The primary body tracking foreign elections interference from countries like Russia, China, and Iran as part of the broader workforce reduction.
But remember, in this more recent discovery that he used as proof, who interfered on his behalf?
Russia.
Who? Exactly. So again, everything rhymes. Everything rhymes. Everything. It's not done just cause. It's done because, right? It's
But
done because he understands
but
that Russia's going to continue to influence in the elections. They're going to most likely, move in the right wing sphere,
oh
right? They're
yeah,
not going to
yeah,
promote a leftist. And so that gives him another advantage, right?
yeah,
These are
yeah.
all things that are in his advantage,
It's gonna be
and
dorks like that in my chat, like the one I just had to block for talking about somebody's
exactly.
mustache. His mustache is fake. It's like, man, oh, now it's totally obvious you just a troll. Who gives a fuck about somebody's mustache, man?
Yeah,
You don't
like
care.
you're not even discussing the topic at hand. You're worried about a mustache. Like that
Exactly.
goes to show that you're just looking for anything to try to discredit, right?
Or
Even if that
disrupt.
includes,
Disrupt.
yeah, like
Exactly.
come on.
Just disrupt the conversation, disrupt people's focus, disrupt the news, essentially. All right, so here but in any case, we know that they're there. So what? Cuz we do this every day, biatch. All right, now check this out. Department of Justice and FBI, multiple specialized election integrity and foreign influence task force within the DOJ and FBI have faced budget cuts. So he even cut. So they just have no faith in the government, in his own
No,
agencies, man.
he wants to reduce these check markers and then whoever's staff loyal to him. That's the basic idea of this whole thing. That's
Right.
exactly what he's trying to do.
But
And that
only
is what he's effectively doing.
but only a madman does this because no one is loyal to him. I mean, you come on. Of course they're going to say, "Yes, I'm loyal to you." So they can stab you in the back later. Come on, that's easy. If all you're looking for is loyalty to you, yes, I'm loyal to you, sir. Yes, that's it. That's all it takes. I mean, this is what is so insane about it.
Look at what he did to Mike Pence, right? Look what he did to Mike Pence, right? The minute he felt some sort of unloyalty, he was calling for him to be arrested and right, like hung. Yeah, yes, right. So it's a part of just what he does, right? This is
He can't
Trump.
help
This is
it.
how he moves.
He's a madman.
He moves like a mafia
He's a
man. Yeah, he moves like
narcissist.
a mafia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's suspicious of everything and everybody around him. This is wild, bro. All right, so look, so he's done that now. The legal context. Okay, it says the administration was able to swiftly remove the EAC commissioners following the Supreme Court ruling after the expanded presidential authority to fire members of independent bipartisan federal agencies without cause, a decision the White House used to justify taking direct control over the executive branch personnel. Yeah, the Supreme Court got to be impeached. So they're doing this because they don't want to be impeached too. That's why they ruled that way, right? Because they know the American people are pissed off. The American people know, what's his name? Clarence Thomas taking extravagant trips everywhere, and the taxpayers are paying for him and his wife's medical bills, kids, family shit. It's like, and yet they're out there being corrupt as usual, and it's not just them. I mean, so yeah, this is crazy, bro. This is crazy, man. You want to say anything about this? And this is, I don't know what to say, bro.
This is his plan, and I think this is what a lot of voters who, again, aren't as nuanced in terms of politics.
Mm-hmm.
This is what they don't understand, right? When we say he is a harm to our country, right? This is what they don't understand. That's when they say, "Oh, Trump derangement syndrome. Oh my gosh, TDS. You guys just make shit up." No, it's happening, but you're just too dumb to realize the nuances and the implications of why he's doing what he does. And then you're just gonna say, "No, he's doing it because he's the greatest president." Just all bullshit rhetoric that just means nothing in the grander scheme, as long as it doesn't fit the narrative and the idea that you have of who Trump is and how great he is. It goes to show just this cult-like mentality that exists amongst the MAGA movement, and it's sad. It's just a sad thing to see that Americans have gotten so caught up in propaganda. And that's what's scary, that even independents, right? They have such little faith in our system, and then they use rhetorics like this to justify their biases, and that's just like it's baffling, right? It's like, oh, okay, this is how this is how uneducated you are, unfortunately, and this is a part of
About
how
their own
Trump
country.
has gained his popularity, right?
Yeah, yeah, it's sad because you would think, of course, I know maybe a third of this online stuff, MAGA people are trolls for real, but the others aren't, and it's embarrassing to see that there's so many Americans that actually are that far out. They don't have any clue what's happening with their own government. They don't know anything about the repercussions with the damage. I mean, people literally voted for a billionaire, thinking that this billionaire cares about them, not his money. How stupid could you be?
And they advocate for him. They advocate for this billionaire, right? And then they'll say, "You're not a billionaire, so you wouldn't understand." Like as if they're billionaires. It's insane.
Exactly. Yeah, it's out there, bro. It is out there. All right, so look, let's hear some more. This is about Trump's plane, man. Let's see here. Trump's international shit now.
New Air Force One in for upgrades. Don't worry, the leather interior and champagne flutes are just fine. They just need to make sure that the plane can't be shot out of the sky. This is just another day.
That's so crazy. Like they took a plane. They literally, how crazy can you be? They actually, you mean that the Pentagon, who are the people that protect the damn president? The main ones day to day, Secret Service. They would take a plane. They would take another plane just like that, have it from a foreign country, put it into commission, get Trump on that plane, only to find out it's not safe. What the hell is going on, bro?
Well, they knew this. They knew what they had to do to the plane to begin with in order to make it safe. And then they already had notions of it being wired or bugged for whatever reason in terms of espionage. They knew that this existed. The only reason why they ignored it was because of Trump.
President Trump,
right.
Trump is the one who allowed it. And the reason why, do you want to know the reason why?
You go ahead.
Because
why did they ignore it?
He's going to be able to keep this plane when all is said and done. That's the main reason why he wants this $2 billion plane.
So you're saying that the Secret Service, the military, also, right? Because they travel with him also. That they literally allowed a nut to get them on a plane. What? Like, how do you do?
Trump wants the plane, period, right? And they knew when they took on this as a gift, quote unquote, that it was gonna have whatchamacallit. They were gonna have to, first of all, it took us almost billions of dollars for us to get it up to standards, quote unquote, US presidential standards. It cost the taxpayers billions of dollars, right? And the reason why he wants it is because he knows that he's going to be able to keep it. Because it's a personal gift to Trump, not necessarily the U.S. president. It just so happens to be that he's the U.S. president. But essentially, it was given to him, right? And so what it is now...
it's a private plane. Right? It's a private plane. It's not really the U.S. government's plane.
Yes.
Okay, I get it now.
Normally, he would the Air Force One plane, period.
Aha.
Right? That's the plane, right? And so now he's outfitted this plane to double as the U.S. as the U.S. Air Force plane, right? The Air Force One plane.
But it's not really as thorough as the one he should be in.
No, it's not. No, how?
Oh man, I can't believe this is crazy, bro.
It's not as fortified, and it's the reason why. Because obviously we've been put, when we developed that plane, we put in hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars to ensure that the president is protected, right? And even on that plane, they have things like almost a basic hospital within that plane, right? Because God forbid something happens to the president, they want to ensure that he's safe, right? If, let's say, in a hypothetical scenario, he gets shot, right? Yeah. That plane now has to, abroad, that plane now has to make sure that they're able to keep him alive until he, for whatever reason,
they
until he gets
land.
back, however that works. Yeah, until they land. So there's a lot of bells and whistles that this plane has that your average plane doesn't come close to, right? And so this is all a part of it, right? This is why they advised against it, because they knew that it would cost billions of dollars to be able to get this plane up to the standard of your regular Air Force One, right? That they maintain on a yearly, bi-yearly basis with technology and other bells and whistles that come along with being the president, right? And so it's all a part of who Trump is, what he does, and how he gets shit done, and obviously it doesn't stop, right? They clearly know this, but they've allowed it because no one's there to back it up, right? He's the executive power, right? And it's sad. But yes, and again, the taxpayers have paid billions up to millions of dollars. You can look it up. You can look it up.
For his personal plane? For his personal plane?
For this plane, yes.
Right,
Yes.
because
For
it's
this
like,
plane,
okay,
this plane.
man, this is just
Because
absurd.
essentially he got it gifted to him, right? He got it gifted to him, and now he said, I want to use this as my official mode of transportation instead of your regular Air Force One plane. And then they obviously went through the logistics and are like, hey, it's going to take hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars to be able to get this outfitted to the standard of your average Air Force One airplane. And obviously he's not going to deny it, but also it's a perk. They gave him that gift and he gets to leave now with all those perks that are installed to that plane when he leaves presidency, right? But yeah.
And this is bizarre. And so now he can't use the plane because it was never safe for him in the first place. Here, let's rock.
But it turns out it can be even bester.
President Trump addressing concerns over the security of a new plane that's expected to serve as a new Air Force One. The president says the Qatari donated jet will soon be sent for upgrades.
Well, it has a lot, and it has a lot of capability. But as I understand it, in about a month or so, they're going to send it to have it be maxed out. So they're going to be sending it, and they'll have it be maxed out.
You know what that means, maxed out? That means he's going to get some 5-star rims on it. Going to get a little kit on the back, some extra little wings and shit. He's going to get, what is this, bro? He's like, it's going to be maxed out. Like, okay.
About a month.
Maxed out? Wow.
Right.
Who knew our president was so down with the lingo? Will this new Air Force One also be lit? Will it slap? Could it possibly be goated? But dope slang aside, the president says this upgrade will only take a month, which is pretty surprising considering...
Which, when Trump says something, it's a lie first. When he says it's only going to take a month, that means that's the narcissist talking out of him. He doesn't... That shit's going to take a year or two.
There is another Boeing jet that is currently under construction intended to be served as the new Air Force One. And that Boeing jet, it's not just a typical Boeing jet, but it's one that would have the capabilities and the resources to be able to be used as Air Force One. It's not set to be ready until 2029. And so the idea that he could turn in the Qatari jet and within just a couple weeks have it back up to the same type of capabilities.
Take a look at the narcissist. This is the Trump narcissist way. This is how he talks. This is how the narcissist talks. Peep this. This is weird.
Which is pretty surprising.
I'm gonna leave a link in the chat that leaves an article as to how much it took to outfit that plane to standards.
Yeah,
to
okay.
Air Force One standards, around 400 mil, but you can cover it after the clip.
400 million.
I'll leave it in the chat.
Oh my God. This is, listen to this. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna pull it up. Look at this shit. This is Trump in a narcissist binge right here. They ask him a question and the narcissist answers it with a lie. Very smoothly, nonchalantly, just a nonchalant lie. That's what narcissists are known for. Nonchalant lies. So nonchalant, unless you really know them, you might get fooled. Like, seriously. That's the thing about narcissists. When you do find out what they are, then you can really see right through them after that. But before, it is really, really hard to see, right? Because they lie nonchalantly, like so effortlessly. A lie just comes out anytime. Now look at this. Listen, just study this man's face. Matter of fact, let me pull this shit up because people have to watch his face for what it is. Is it this one? Is it this one? Hold on. Let me. I just gotta watch this. You gotta watch how his body language is. It's very important to get the body language when he lies, because the key is that he's not going to show a whole lot of what, you might think is lying. That's the key to it. You know what I mean? Like, that's why it's a narcissist thing. But once you see that, once you know them, then you can actually pinpoint when they're lying. You can see it. It's just a little spark you can see. Outside of that, if you don't know them, it's hard. A narcissist will fuck you over, man, before you even know it. But here.
Well, it has a lot, and it has a lot of capability. But as I understand it, in about a month or so, they're going to send it to have it be maxed out. So they're going to be sending it, and they'll have it be maxed out. It'll take about a month.
Maxed.
So that's his lying ass face right there. That is the face he has when he lies, when he tells a lie. And that is how effortlessly he tells a lie, because he says, as he understands it. So who told him that it was going to be ready in a month? What this is that he feels like a goddamn fool because this happened and they had, for security reasons, had to be taken off of that plane. You see what I mean? And so he feels like a fool. So he has to come up with a lie to cover it up. And he's effortlessly doing it when he's put on the spot. You see? But he comes up with a lie. But who told Trump it would be ready in a month? That's where the lie part comes in. Do you think anybody told him that? Or do you think they told him something else? Like, sir, you can't be using this goddamn plane at all. This was a death trap for you. And as soon as we found out, we got your ass out of here and you ain't getting back in it, And yes, then he put 2 and 2 together, heard that there was a new one being made and it'll be ready in 2029. And he decided to tell people, well, it's not a big fuck up. The next one will be ready in a month.
Well, it has a lot, and it has a lot of capability. But as I understand it, in about a month or so, they're going to send it to have it be maxed out. So they're going to be sending it, and they'll have it be maxed out. It'll take about a month.
Maxed out? Wow. Who knew our president was so down with the lingo? Will this new Air Force One also be lit? Will it slap? Could it possibly be goated? But dope slang aside, the president says this upgrade will only take a month, which is pretty surprising considering this.
There is another Boeing jet that is currently under construction intended to be served as the new Air Force One. And that Boeing jet, it's not just a typical Boeing jet, but it's one that would have the capabilities and the resources to be able to be used as Air Force One. It's not set to be ready until 2029. And so the idea that he could turn in the Qatari jet and within just a couple of weeks have it back up to the same type of capabilities, it just doesn't match what the reporting at MS Now shows.
Well, maybe that's because those folks at Boeing have the wrong people working on their plane, whereas Trump knows just the guy to get this done in record time. Yes, when you need something done right, call the professionals. But when you need something done poorly and for too much money, albeit accomplished in under 30 days, call the guy who looks like he manages your city's raunchiest strip club. This is crazy. The now old Air Force One that Trump is currently flying around in was never reported as unsafe or unfit. So why exactly did we need this new billion-dollar free plane from Qatar?
The biggest difference is the difference in size. It's like virtually double the size. And actually on a runway it looks even more so. And I said to myself, these countries, they have a lot of respect for us, a lot. And yet they have a plane that's much better and much newer. It's a little ridiculous out there.
So Donald Trump was standing next to a bunch of other guys and realized that their barrel-shaped object was much bigger than his. Huh. It's pretty sad when you realize how many billions our nation could be saving right now if our president just had a slightly bigger penis.
Yeah, this is crazy. So Trump, he got screwed, but it's really the American people that got screwed. But he's screwed also. He just doesn't want to admit it. But it's interesting because when you see that Trump got screwed and when you see that he finds out that he gets screwed, He, being the narcissist, just effortlessly goes right by it like it's nothing, But deep down inside, the dude is like a failure a million times over. Time and time again, he's getting played. Again, he's getting played. Again, he's getting played. But he comes out to the public when he's in front of the cameras. The narcissist is in full effect. Like, he is a true narcissist. Like, he is just going to lie. Lying is where he is. And from what I've heard, right, I don't, obviously I'm not a psychiatrist or anything like that. But from what I've heard is that narcissists, right, usually this is happening because of something. They either were neglected as children at a very young age. And so because of whatever that pain is about, they don't really care about other people. And that's the source of the lie. Like, it's one thing to tell a lie, but when you have a conscience and you care about people, that can stop you from really telling a good lie, because your conscience. Well, if you've been hurt at a young age, that conscience goes away because it becomes like a kill or be killed world for a kid, and they say that this is where that kind of dynamic begins, just the ability to feel like the world is unfair and lying is a part of it and get what you can get. It's a cutthroat world, So, but in any case, let's look into this. It says Air Force pegs cost to modify Qatar gifted plane at less than $400 million. Air Force pegs. All right. Oh, 1 second. Can I make this larger, by the way? Let me make the text larger so everybody can see this. Yeah, here we go. All right. So here we go. Now it says the Air Force estimates it will cost less than $400 million to modify a luxury aircraft gifted to the Qatari government from the Qatari government into President Trump's flying command center, according to the service top civilian official. It's so funny how they call it the flying command center. They didn't call it Air Force One. The projection is far less than $1 billion. Right, congressional Democrats and some aviation experts have said would be required to harden the plane. So this is crazy. So why is it the projection is far less? So why is it less than $1 billion? Is it because he's not getting it from a real place? Right, will be required hardened plane defenses and installed countermeasures, encrypted communications, and other capabilities needed to fulfill Air Force One's mission. Air Force Secretary Troy Mink said Thursday in a House Armed Services Committee hearing that the assumptions some are making about the modifications costs include things like training and buying spare parts, expenses, and services has already accounted for through its broader VC-25B presidential aircraft program. While the Air Force may now need to procure those things earlier, it won't be paying for them twice. There's been so they're saying this is where the cost discrepancy is. There's been a number thrown around on the order of $1 billion. Meek said, adding later, it's probably less than $400 million to retrofit the aircraft. Okay. The White House announces last month it would accept Qatar's offer to gift the president a modified Boeing 747-8 worth roughly $400 million. The plan is to use the gifted plane throughout the rest of Trump's term and then donate it to the Trump Presidential Library. Okay, right. That's how he gifts it to himself on paper.
Yep.
Right. Okay. The Air Force, which will oversee the upgrades, hasn't provided details on the scope of the schedule of modifications or confirmed who will perform the work. The Wall Street Journal reports in May that L3 Harris has been tapped to convert the aircraft at a facility in Texas and expects to complete the upgrades later this year. So this is what he was talking about. L3 Harris. Who the hell is that? I think this is who. Let me see here. Is this who he was commenting on? Let me roll that back.
Actually, on a runway, it looks even a lot of respect for us, a lot, and yet they have a plane that's much better and much newer. It's a little ridiculous out there.
So Donald Trump was standing next to a bunch of other guys and realized that their barrel-shaped object was much bigger than his. It's pretty sad when you realize how many billions our nation could be saving right now if our president just had a slightly bigger penis. But here we are. And since Trump decided to splurge for the enlargement, you know he's got to show it off.
This is considered the world's most luxurious plane. When it was built at a level that will probably never be seen again. And if the press would like, I don't know if it's going to help me.
Right. Stop right there. That is, again, that's part of the narcissist talk right there. Notice how he always hypes it up. Bigger than it's ever been. And look at how he does it so effortlessly.
You know he's...
Like, this is, I think this is keen. And also for MAGA people, like, start peeping how Trump does shit. Like, pay close attention to this. Like, hold on. Here,
let's show it off.
This is...
All right. Let me align this right so you can get a look at how effortlessly he says this. Like, he just comes up with this,
Decided
right?
to splurge for the enlargement, you know he's got to show it off.
This is considered the world's most luxurious plane. When it was built at a level that will probably never be seen again. And if the press would like, I don't know if it's going to help me with stories. I don't think they'll be any different. But what we're going to do is we're going to take you for just a quick tour. When I leave, they're going to take you for a little tour. You'll see something you won't even believe.
Yes, there were definitely things they wouldn't believe.
The new plane, donated by Qatar, reportedly does not have the same defensive capabilities.
The Qatari jet did not have the ability to refuel midair, as well as missile defense technology.
Passengers on the plane were told to keep their window shades down during the flight.
Do you know why they had us close our window blinds?
Yeah, because you're probably on a dangerous flight because of the sleaze bags that we have to deal with.
I don't want to say that the new Air Force One lacks the necessary strategic defense systems, but when the plan to thwart an attack is lowering your window shades, I think we might have an issue. What's next? Blocking bullets with your bag of pretzels? Maybe dodging that incoming fire by reclining your seat an inch and a half? If this plane isn't safe to fly around in, why does Trump keep flying around in it?
Some features of this Qatari plane that we can tell you. It's got leather seats that recline flat. The seat belts are equipped with the presidential seal. The walls and carpets are tan. The light fixtures, shockingly, are gold.
Well, you know what they say. If you're going to put you, your staff, and the entire presidential press pool at risk, you might as well do it in style. By the way, it is worth pointing out what a massive failure this is from the Pentagon, the federal agency that accepted this plane and let the President of the United States fly on it, knowing it wasn't secure.
That's what I'm saying. This is insane. This is insane. Michael, how do you do this, bro? How's this happening? How's this possible? I mean, to me, this just... I'm really, really wondering what is going on. It can't be this bad.
It goes to show the contemporary politics we're on, right? And Trump has only kept people who agree with him around him, right? No one is criticizing him. Very few. I'm not going to say no one. Very few, even especially in the left, are keeping it. You know what I don't understand is, it's like I always say, you know, democracy is currently at a standstill, in fact, just jeopardized. And every day we should have politicians speaking about everything at all times, right? Reminding the constituents what he's done, what he continues to do, how it benefits him. You know, yes, we know about the crypto coin, and yes, we know about his stock trades, and yes, we know about everything else that he's done. But it needs to be reminded every single day, and it needs to be from our political figures who acknowledge the wrongdoings he's doing and just megaphoning it. Just like Trump, any optic he does not miss a chance to shout out Biden, to shout out Hillary, to shout out Obama, right? Any chance he gets.
Right.
And that's what every politician needs to do every time they take a platform, right? Let's remember that this is the same president who bought a social media platform just so he can be able to publicly speak, right? Truth Social.
Right.
Let's go even further in saying that now he's having a subscription of $100,000 a month to Truth Social if you want access to his messages, to his tweets, or well, however he his truth, yes. Look this up. This is not even a joke. I wish I could make this up. I wish I could make it up. I couldn't even in my wildest dreams, make up half the nonsense that this man legitimately does. Right. So essentially, he's not only he's monetizing Truth Social because he knows that people trade based off of what he messages, right? The market sways. It's market manipulation at its finest. And this is what he's acknowledging by even allowing his platform to be taken advantage of the way it is, right? The way he's doing it, right? So essentially, again, he's charging $100,000 a month.
This is for like his investment advice on Truth Social. That's what it says here. That's crazy.
Yes.
100,000.
Yes. For access to
Truth
his personal
IPI.
advice. Yes. That's what he's calling it.
Targeted audience, high frequency Wall Street traders, hedge funds. So this is just all out total corrupted White House. All out. This is mad, bro. Like, and
he
again,
does it under the God.
should the next president be allowed to do this? Put a one in the chat. Put a 1 in the chat if the next president should be allowed to do this. Put a 2 in the chat if the next president shouldn't. I'm curious who obviously no one in their right mind would say yeah, but
This is what it means to grift, and this is what I try to explain. Some people will say that there's grifting on both the left and the right, but show me when Biden made his own hats. Show me when Obama made his own hats, t-shirts, watches, sneakers, right? And then he had a social media platform that he monetized to be able to get information linked directly to what he says. Because it's not they're saying it. So they're phrasing it as investment advice because they understand that people are going to trade off of it, but it's not necessarily full on advice, if that makes any sense, right? It's just hints and suggestions. They just know legally they have to get themselves in the right by saying, hey, investment advice, because it's not your average investment advice, right? He's not a financial advisor. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
He's
bro.
not
Yeah. They can't do that. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Right. But it's just as bad. I mean, that's not even the bad part. Him being, whether he's a financial advisor or not, just the fact that he's using the presidency this way is just unhinged. It is unhinged, man. And anybody that thinks that another president should be able to do this is fucking insane. Like, I'm sorry, but the Supreme Court has fucked the United States over. This is what we're getting from it, man. It's just all out craziness, and I mean, because think about this, when the highest court in the land is there, they're basically going to side with him most of the time. So how are you going to push back against him if the court is more likely 8 out of 10 times is going to side in his favor? The Supreme Court. So you will end up in the Supreme Court with Trump. In anything you do, if it's not criminal, it's civil, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it will end up, and even if it's criminal, it will end up in the Supreme Court, right?
To an extent, I don't really think you can, unless it's like having to do with like positions within the government.
But this is the corrupt this is the Supreme Court, though. We can't even really answer that, right? That should be an easy one to answer. That should be easy to answer, right? Because I didn't think it either. I'm like, that's normally not criminal, but you never. I know some cases can go if they need to set precedent. If it's needed in the law, right? But needed some clarity. But generally, yeah, that would be the only reason, right? But this is if you try to challenge this is civil, right? And you don't know if they would say no to this if this ends up in court, like, or anything like it. Not this per se, exactly this, but I mean, it just goes to show you that if you know that the court is in your favor, then you're more likely to do things that you would never even conceive of. Even if it's not illegal, that doesn't mean it's not unethical, right? But you would still,
and also,
or even if it's not civil, you can be held civilly liable. Doesn't mean it's not unethical, right? Or
also, it'll be hard to find lawyers that take on the case.
Yeah.
Right, because they know that now that's political suicide or career suicide, essentially, if they were to take it on, and that they have a target on their back. So there's multiple reasons why, and when they allow things like this to happen, that's what, even if you can fight these things, it becomes, is it worth it, and who's going to be able to take it on, right? Willingly, because a lot of lawyers won't take that chance, right? A lot, right? And so it's a trickle down effect, which I hate to use the term, but it is, right? It's something that other lawyers will see. They will see, and they're like, I don't know if I want this smoke. I don't know if I want this type of trouble to follow me around, right? Because now he can have the DOJ investigate any of these law firms for any reason, right? And now you don't know what they will find or what they will make the DOJ find just because they don't like you or just because you took on a case that's not in their favor, right? So the nuances to it are many, and in fact they're scary, right? This is not, like, the US government has a limited budget. The US government has lawyers who study at the highest universities on retainer, right? The US government has no bounds. So when you're going up against the US government,
you need them to be ethical. You need them to be ethical. Otherwise, it's tyranny if it's not ethical.
Yes, exactly.
The moment it's not ethical, a government run with the highest levels of efficacy, right? Then it becomes a problem for everybody at that point. And it's man, but this is scary, bro, and it's unhinged. I don't think it's for sure no Western government has seen this level of corruption in modern times, bro. Never. It just doesn't exist, right? And you would have to go back. Is there anything comparable in the last century?
Century, you have some questionable leaders in the past century, but in the past, 40 years, not really. There's no real other Western or modern democracy who has allowed this to happen, and even if they have, it's gone through their own checks and balances.
Well, there was
right?
Hitler. There was Hitler.
That's what I'm saying.
Sorry about that. I was like, what you talking about, man? Yeah, that's right. That's Hitler, Mussolini. Because that's not quite. Hitler, that's under a century still. That's right. That's like 70 years ago.
you had a few of them. There was a few.
My fault. Yeah. but that's true. That's true. Trump is just under them. He's gaining though. This motherfucker's gaining
he's the Neo
fast.
version of that.
Yeah.
He's the Neo version of that. And what's scary is, again, he's setting the playbook for every other person who might want to do this in the future. He's giving them that idea, that leeway right there. You understand?
Terrible,
what I'm saying?
bro.
That's
terrible.
The story.
It's horrible, man. It's horrible, bro. I don't know what to say, but it is out. It's unhinged. It's unhinged, and this is a circus. This is a clown circus. This man made our country look like a bunch of goddamn fools, and it's not going anywhere fast until house is cleaned up. We won't have a country, bro, if ethics is not restored, bro. And countries always struggle with that. That's an ongoing process. But no, this is just like any level of ethics we did practice, he just threw out. It's all gone. It is all gone. It doesn't exist anymore. And
but that's where, it'll take years, like it'll take 10, 20 plus years
for people to
be able
trust
to
the
reverse
government
this
again.
damage.
Yeah.
I mean, forget trust the government, right? Just have some sort of normalcy in comparison to yesteryears, right? The Obama years, the Biden years, the Bush years, even Bush, no matter how crazy he was, he didn't attempt anything like
Yeah,
this,
because
right?
people won't, blue state people won't trust these red state people anymore, man. It's not happening.
Blue and red states,
Yeah,
both.
Yeah, they
right?
won't
Because
trust.
when a Democratic president or higher up, gets into power, the Republicans aren't going to trust. I mean, the Republicans aren't going to trust, right? And so when we have, and any form of Democrats or Republicans, they're just going to continue the two party hatred, right? And so with that said,
I mean, I don't know about that myself. I don't know about that. I mean, of course, we're just speaking out what our ideas are, but I don't know if it's. I think the Republicans have fucked up so bad that they're going to disappear, bro. I think right now it's just a clown show because they're just trying to hold on. But I think they just like, people they have showed their ass so badly here that I think they know they don't have anything to offer. There's nothing to offer to fix the country. And the only way it's going to get fixed is if there's people that are really going to practice good governance, good ethics. You know what I mean? And I think most people will. Yeah. I think people will appreciate it. I think a lot of people that had to witness this, even people that voted for Trump, I think a lot of them are just tired of it now. They're just tired of it, and they would definitely support a government that just wants to be a good government and actually wants to repair things. I think people will reach out to that government, but I think the rest of these guys that caused this problem, I think they're going to be like this, ducking. I think they're going to be miserable. They're going to just disappear. People are going to hate them, man. Even the red state people are going to hate these folks.
Yeah.
That's what I think is going to happen. Yeah.
What I think is that, both parties will undergo a rebranding. And right now, the rebranding of the Democrats are the introduction of Democratic Socialist. Yeah. Right? They are impacting the Democratic Party from within, right? They're being forced to be recognized. And I think the Republican Party hasn't found that yet, right? Because they're so galvanized in Trump and so mesmerized by his current movement in terms of the MAGA movement that it hasn't allowed for an alternative to MAGA, right? Where at least in the Democratic Party right now, it's manifested itself in the form of the DSA.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's a very interesting phenomenon there, actually. And the Democrats played a role in that because they were very centrist for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so they also played a role and Trump just made it he made it possible by being so right winged, by not caring, by being so corrupt. He's proven to and they've shown these Republicans, and it's not just Trump. He's not alone. MAGA Mike Johnson, what they've done with healthcare, what they've done giving the rich this wealth, the biggest tax break of all time. They've shown the American people that these people believe in using your tax dollars for them and not you. And I think most Americans are going to walk away with that knowing, having a new conversation saying, wait a second, the taxes we pay are actually to support us, not corruption, not corrupt politicians, not exactly. And I think a lot of people are starting due to the concept there, the abuse, and then the idea that there's democratic socialists, like you're saying, talking about restructuring the tax system, talking about fairness in the tax system. It's an interesting time right now for Americans. It's interesting, but we got to get past it. Well, I won't say we got to get past this first, because it's going to take as long as it takes. But yeah, you know what I mean. We have to get past the first part, get control, decent people that want Americans to benefit from their own tax dollars have to get control of the House and then implement laws that help the average American citizen with their own goddamn tax dollars, and bring back fairness. I don't want to say equality because it sounds superficial, but I mean like bring back fairness in the law. Fairness in the law. Right now it's just totally corrupt.
And like with the current DSA movement, obviously you have the working families party as well. With the more progressive they get on the left, the right is forced to manage as well and now become just as or slightly more progressive than they were in the past. And I think that's going to be what forces, that change in the current Republican Party, right? Once they're past this MAGA motion, they're going to have to rebrand again, which they rebranded after Obama.
Yeah.
Or right during Obama, they rebranded.
Tea Party
the
shit.
Republican Party was rebranded into the GOP, right?
Yeah.
And so they're gonna go through a second rebranding where they distance themselves from the MAGA movement, right? And the policies that are going to be pushed and promoted are going to be more centrist and far right, like they're doing now, or far right libertarian, like they're doing now. Right, which means affordable housing, right?
Tricking people again. They're gonna talk that talk, but they're still gonna exclude people. They're gonna go back to that. We're able-bodied men. Able-bodied men. This like MAGA Mike Johnson is able-bodied. It's preaching down to people. Like you're poor because you don't work. Ideology. Yeah, you're poor because you don't work. Nothing else. That's it. Not that you're poor because you're fucking not given a fair opportunity, a fair chance. Not that. You know what I mean? Like. If they go back to that, they ain't gonna make it.
Exactly.
Because there's too many.
I do
look at Kentucky. They're gonna be. Look at Kentucky, bro. Look at how many red states got poverty. I mean, will these people fall for that able-bodied men shit again?
I think that a part of it will always be a part of the Republican.
Unoriginal, unfucking original,
right?
Yeah, bro.
They'll always have that rhetoric, right? Now, what they do in terms of policy is going to be different, right? They'll always have the immigrant argument. They'll always have the able-bodied argument when they message, but their policies will look very different, and they'll frame it as just for Americans, right? Because that's how they've always managed, even in the past.
That's all they
right?
got. That's all they got. Basically, it's like no duh, Sherlock. No shit, Sherlock. What the fuck? We're talking about a federal election. God damn it! What the fuck's going on here? Who you think it's for? Everybody is talking about just for the Americans. In a federal election? What the fuck? These people, man. The left Democrats got to get better at their messaging and shit. Because when they say that should be our message. Only, when they say only for Americans, we need to be like, no shit, Sherlock. It's a federal election. Now get the fuck out of my way. We need to be more aggressive than them, man. Because with our messaging, man,
But I think that's where the DSA messaging is. The appeal to the DSA messaging is, right? The appeal to the DSA messaging is much more concise, precise, factual, right? Transparent and direct. And that's something that, again, the Democratic Party has been forced to accept. You have people like Kamala Harris now tapping into people like Zoran for their messaging and campaigning going forward, right?
Yeah.
And that's huge. That's huge, right? Because now what that forces is that forces them to not only acknowledge the DSA movement, but promote it from within, right? And I think they've avoided that for so long that's what hurt them during the MAGA movement, right?
Yeah.
And now that the MAGA movement's been in full effect, the cracks are showing. It has allowed for the DSA movement to take full effect, and slowly creep up. You have Abdul Saeed, and the way the Republicans are battling that is by putting a shit ton of campaign money behind all of their candidates, right? If I'm not mistaken, I think the Republican candidate who's running up against Abdul Saeed, he's outspent Abdul Saeed by like maybe like 4 million more.
And that's
I
in,
think
he's
Abdul
running in
Saeed-
Florida, right?
Who, Abdul?
Is it Florida or Michigan?
It's Michigan.
Okay, my fault.
definitely
My
not
fault.
Florida.
Abdul Saeed. Yeah, that's Michigan. That's Michigan. Yeah. Exactly. All right,
And
man.
so-
Go ahead.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah,
was
well,
it.
yeah. Well, I think we got about time. It's like 3:20 now, man. I think we should call it now. But it was a nice little stream. The setup was a little odd. I got I had some issues with YouTube. So it's not about I'm monetized. We're monetizing everything, but YouTube updated something in their system. So the communication between the program I use, the OBS system, and YouTube, it's something off that I got to figure out. And I see it's still a little off. So I got to experiment one more time, a little more times today. So I'm going to do some test streams with no lives, just test streams, just to see if I can make sure the trigger is happening right. It didn't happen right, although everything else is fine, but it's still not exactly how it's supposed to be. So in any case, I want to thank everybody for coming out. Mike B, appreciate you for hopping up again, bro. Listen, I want to ask folks well, you know what? I'm going to hold off. I'll ask people in the next stream. Listen, I appreciate everybody's time. Do me a favor. Do us a favor. Click the like button. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. And we will be back tomorrow. It was kind of cool, down to earth stream today. You know what I'm saying? But it is a Tuesday, and that's how it is, you know. But listen, folks, we will be back in 18 hours from now, roughly that time, 0230 Eastern Standard Time, USA, America's time, also South America, wherever you are, Canada, right, the Atlantic, and then that would be 0830 Central European time. So for those of you in the EU watching, that will be the time set for us over here, top of the morning. So I appreciate everybody. Listen, we'll be out. We'll catch up with everybody soon. And have a good beginning to your day. I appreciate y'all. All right. Catch everybody. Peace, Mike. Release the Epstein files, yo. Release them now. Come on, Trump. Fuck Trump. Get his ass out of here. Yo, and don't forget to register to vote. If you're not registered, register to vote. All right? This time. And go get a friend. All right. Appreciate everybody. Let's go.
Can you feel it? Nothing can save ya, cause this is the season of funky behavior. I came to relax your mind, you can recline. On what? On this here rhyme. I like the style, I'm staying for a while. It helps me show cats that I'm versatile. I'll touch your dial, turn your frown to a smile. I'll make you feel like you're having a child. So relax and open up, child. I'm about to make you walk what? Pimp style. Or pimped out style, you don't understand the logic. See if you don't have it all, I'll take a deposit. I got shit for you, it's alright indeed. It's like going to the garden and planting the seed. It might tickle for a second, but it won't bleed. So just relax, just hear a dope track. I'm just real nice, everything is real fat. You don't have to do work, we do that. It's the type of place where you can wear your hat. Just relax, and just hear a dope track. I'm just real nice, everything is real fat. You don't have to do work, we do that. It's the type of place where you can wear your hat. Just entertainment, at the same time, edutainment. In other words, you could call it bent. What I'm saying is that I'm here at your service. It's hard work, but then again, I deserve this. I'm helping people enjoy their spare time. I'm like an instructor when I'm doing my rhyme. Relax and just hit the dope track. It's really not all that, it's not like a gag. We like that when everything is relaxed and chill. You don't have to get fucked up or take pills, cause I like being myself, it feels good. Yo, it makes my meals taste good. 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 So just relax. It's your dope track. I'm just real nice, everything is real fat. You don't have to do work, we do that. It's the type of place where you can wear your hat. Just relax and hear a dope track. I'm just real nice, everything is real fat. You don't have to do work, we do that. It's the type of place where you can wear your hat. Just relax. My mind state not ballooning it won't inflate. Just take the buzz, this much wiser, kid, fuck the shade. And take it to a lower level, and dig a ditch for a devil. Got some more kids and pass the shovel. Dig a hole, take them on a spiritual roll. Lyrics unfold, either that or unroll the scroll. Episodes keep reoccurring and stifling. People's vision get blurring, their hearts start murmuring. I'm about 5 times iller than a Sherman. Introspection is God's gift to the miracle. I freak material, lamb's milk without the cereal. When MCs say your booty, they mean venereal. Your fake material hip-hop killers, they more faking than fucking Michael Jackson and Thriller. The status of a hoe, Quanto Costa. They wanna know how much it costs, kid, I bet for keep to me just relax, and just hear my don't cry. The vibes is real nice, everything is real fat. You don't have to do work, we do that. It's the type of place where you can wear your hat. Just relax, and just hear my don't cry. The vibes is real nice, everything is real fat. You don't have to do work, we do that. It's the type of place where you can wear your hat. Just relax.
I wrote this one because I love you, and I want you to love me too, girl.
I just want to love. Just love the way you love. I love the way I love.
I love you.
I just want to love. Just love the way you love. I love the way I love you.
You my TRL, I'm looking at you. The look in my eye, you can tell that I wanna know you, better yet show you that I treat you right, this I owe ya. The feelings I feel are not obscene. It's no secret, I'll go in public and scream. I'll LOV you, my baby girl. The feeling's so true, we can make our own world. We were made for each other, I feel like you love. We had a child, we be father and mother. There ain't no other I'd rather spend my time with. This love can endure anything that splits. If it wasn't legit, you wouldn't hear it. I could never be confused by your spirit. We just take it still a rollie, cause we both know what we do. I'm in LOV with you.
I just want
to
love.
Baby girl,
love the way you love.
Love me.
The way I love.
I love you.
I just want to.
Hey.
I want to love.
Oh,
love the way you love.
Love me.
The way I love you.
I love you, girl.
Just relax.
Just relax. Just relax. Just relax. Just relax. Just relax.
Just relax.
Just relax. Just relax. Just relax. Just relax. Just relax. Just relax. Hold your hand when we in town. Protect this love, even in the underground. Joy to God needing brunch on a blanket. This God that granted us these days, I thank it. It's no wonder why I'm comfortable with you. It's all the simple things for me that you do. When you rub my back, it's feeling so nice. Much more than Reuniti and ice. It's about the kindness I can see in your face, and the way it's at the right time and place. No other woman I'd rather spend my time with. This love is so fresh I can taste.
I just want to love. Love the way you love. Love the way I love.
I love you.
I just want to love. Love the way you love.
It's about you.
Love the way I love you.
I love you.
Just relax. Just relax.
Just relax.
Just relax. Just relax. Just relax. Just relax. Just relax. Just relax. Just relax. Just relax. Just relax. Just relax. Just relax.
LOV you. GRL. What? It's like that.